Hey, everybody.
Yep.
What's going on? It's Friday night.
Yeah, get ready to go out.
Okay, the microphone is on. Just checking and
Yeah,
making sure.
The volume's good.
Who knows what this fucking thing is doing?
I should have made you some more drink.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't get alarmed because
Yeah.
I didn't fill it all the way up. Like, I made it at 6:30, but, I mean, that's a huge jar. It was probably only, like, that full.
We got to leave a little bit before 10 our time, so that's a couple hours from now.
Yeah, we can still do,
so
like,
we
a
can
couple
have a
hours.
pretty decent
As long as we don't get, like, completely
sidetracked and
shit-faced.
Right.
That's probably not
I just got to drive.
Yeah, so you can't get shit-faced.
I can't get too fucked up.
Yeah. Gonna go. It worked out that Abyss, we went to Abyss last week for the Halloween party, obviously. But it worked out that, because they do it monthly, and it worked out that this week was an Abyss night too.
Yeah, so they're hitting us 2 weeks in a row.
So they're hitting us the 2 weekends in a row. So it's the holidays, so we're gonna spend more money, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we might try and go out tomorrow night.
Holiday season is fucking just a lot of partying.
Might try to go out tomorrow night too, because I hate to miss the Saturday night because I really like Saturday night.
That's our dance night right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Abyss is kind of like, we dance at Abyss too, but it's kind of more like seeing everybody. And
Yeah.
Although I guess
it's like going to church.
I guess like Saturday night is seeing everybody too. Which is
Grampus
better.
Is here.
Yeah, CB is here also. Happy
what's up,
Friday,
CB?
everyone. Yeah, Grampus says, which is better, Abyss or Mannequins? I like Abyss better.
This is better than Mannequins.
Mannequins, we haven't been in a while, but you know, it can be fun because it's like unpredictable. You never know who's gonna wander in there.
Yeah, Mannequins
it's been better since they got door staff.
Yeah, and that they charge
like
people to
bouncers.
get in. Yeah, and they charge people to get in. That keeps people from just walking in off the street because that place has got tremendous foot traffic.
Yeah, because it's downtown Sanford, and like a lot of people. There's a lot of other bars and places like that, and people do like pub crawls and stuff.
After COVID hit, all the clubs in downtown Orlando kind of closed, and then it became, and a lot of the bars we dealt with kind of went out of business. And then when shit came back, it was very ghetto, and fucking the old scene is all moved out to fucking downtown Sanford, which is outside the center of the city
and other places, because like where the trap is and stuff like that, that's still in Orlando, but that's kind of more Maitland-y area.
Yeah, it's just not downtown.
Yeah, there's not much in downtown.
But I can go online and just fucking see who posts videos, and that the mainstream now all goes to downtown Sanford. It took over. Like it used to be Orange Ave. Orange Ave is like
there's not much left down there.
There's not much there anymore. So everything's kind of outside the center of the city, which is good in some ways because parking.
Yeah, it is better for parking for sure.
Yeah, the drive back isn't fucking infested with fucking law enforcement.
That's always a plus.
Yeah, it kind of feels more like the French Quarter, where it's nothing but just bars and restaurants right there in one area.
Yeah, it's just like a few blocks.
Yeah, it's an entertainment district.
That's all. And there's like little shops and stuff like that too, like little
vape
antique
shops and fucking.
There's a really cool like used bookstore there. There's a used bookstore, and then it has like vinyl records on the second floor.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
You saw me on Instagram. That's where we were having the biker rallies. It was downtown Sanford, and so there's all kinds of shit going on down there. It's kind of like the new downtown in a way.
Interestingly, I just found out that I saw on Facebook my brother, or one of my brothers, my one that's 4 years younger, Eric. He is getting back into doing music again because he was always in bands like when we were growing up, you know what I mean? And he didn't do it for a long time, and he got asked to be in a band again, an already established band that's touring. So he was like, okay, why not? And they're actually playing at a venue in Sanford next Friday, and I was like, huh.
What did you want to go see?
I don't know. Maybe we should.
All right. Which one is it?
Huh?
Which one is it?
It's at West End, which is kind of a...
I think I know where that is.
Yeah, it's only a couple blocks before Mannequins.
It's before Mannequins.
It's kind of a normie place, but they do have bands and stuff play there.
It's the one they're always hanging outside there.
Yeah. It's like, it's very, very popular. And it's a restaurant, too. It's like a bar and grill type place. Remember that print shop I used to work at in Longwood? The guy that ran it, that idiot, he knew the owner of that place, and he used to hang out there all the time.
It's the exact place, the same place I was
thinking of.
Yeah,
it's the same place.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever been in there, but
It's like an Irish pub.
Yeah, it's kind of like I said, like a bar and grill type situation. But they have bands play there like all the time. But I a long time ago, I made their menus and all that kind of stuff, you know, because I worked for somebody that knew that guy, you know. Yeah.
So people filtering in. We got some people here.
I reckon so.
Yeah.
Yeah. CB said you guys going out tonight. Yeah, we are.
We're going out.
We were thinking about it because we were like, man, we just went out last Friday night too. We did Friday and Saturday. Strangely, I didn't feel too bad. Like last weekend, because not only did we go out Friday night and Saturday night, but on Thursday we had gone to Animal Kingdom, and we got up like super early, and like we drove over to Lake Buena Vista, and we were at the park like pretty much all day, and you know, but I felt slightly crappy, but not as crappy as I thought I was gonna feel.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess that's something. And we got pretty. I don't think we didn't get super fucked up on Friday night or Saturday night. Just kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see how tonight goes down. It should be a pretty good night.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Tomorrow will be better, I think.
Yeah, like weirdly, like last Saturday, because we went to Barbarella last Saturday, and I thought like nobody was gonna be there because it was like the day before Halloween, so everybody was just kind of like, they got all their shit out on Halloween, and it's like, now we're just gonna stay in on Saturday. The weird thing about it though is that it was really crowded, but I only knew like 20% of the people there. Like it was a bunch of different people. Like they were all cool. It wasn't douchebags or anything like that. But I was like, who the hell are all these people? I never saw these people before. They might come on different nights. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So a lot of the regulars weren't there, which kind of sucks, but the music was really good. And, but we had a good time anyway. And like I said, it ended up being really crowded. Like even John was like, what the fuck? Like, where are all these fucking people coming from? We thought nobody was going to come out, but they did.
Yeah.
You know?
High Desert's here. What's up, High Desert?
What's up, High Desert?
Yeah. Well, getting shit done on the new bike that I'm building. Got both tires and the inner tubes on the rim. The rims are painted. They're aluminum mags. It's going to be basically a 1977 RD 400 two-stroke, and I just got the kickstand relocation stuff. And you got to do some drilling and shit to get that together. But you got to relocate where the kickstand mounts if you're going to put expansion chambers on it. Bottom end's almost done. I got the fucking clutch. I ordered a whole clutch assembly. That'll be over here in the next few days. I'm just trying to do the math. What it's going to cost. I think it's probably going to cost about $4,000 to get it together. And AI says it's worth between 13 and 9 when it's together in this area. But we'll see. I'm just going to have fun building it and ride it. And I was thinking, well, if all else fails, I could always just trade this thing off for a fucking Harley. Like a Harley Sportster. There's lots of those around here. Because I actually wanted a Sportster. But I already had that frame and I already had half of that engine.
Yeah, I mean, you've had that for years.
I've had it for years, so I got to finish it.
Because you started working on it and then you just kind of like got distracted by other stuff.
Well, it wasn't only that. It was all the bearings and spacers I'd have to fucking make. And I was like, this isn't going to work because I had a modern front end and modern wheels on it. And then I was worried about what the fucking gear ratios were going to be like. And if, what was I going to have to do to modify that front sprocket to get the chain out to clear the fatter fatter rear tire. Because the stock rear tire is supposed to be 110 wide. And what was on there was like 160. So that's a big difference. That's what I had. It was like a modern sport bike tire. I don't think it would have fit. I don't think I could have gotten the chain out far enough. So it was just rubbed on the inside of the tire, not a clearance. So I just went back to stuff that I knew would go on RD parts. There's other shit you can go on there, and now you got artificial intelligence that'll help you, find out what other people have done, and it'll tell you exactly what it'll do. But a lot of times when you start a bike from the 70s and you start putting modern stuff on it, yeah, it runs better, but it's not, the collector's value isn't there. That's not really a 70s bike. So I kind of want it to be like a 70s race bike from 77. The only thing that'll be kind of modern would be like it's going to have, eventually I'll put a digital ignition in there instead of the mechanical points and condensers, because it's just so much safer and easier to have a digital ignition in there. That's a couple $100 for the conversion, but I can do that later, you know, if I like the bike. But it's going to look cool. It's going to look real cool when it's done.
Yeah, you've been working really hard on that.
Yeah, it's going to look real good. And I'm building it up in the house.
Yeah.
And painting it in the house. But
yeah, I mean,
I'm using special techniques.
Better than like working on it out in the driveway or the garage.
Yeah, across your...
Although it's actually not too bad. Actually, next week we're getting a cold front.
Oh, really?
I saw the temperatures and stuff. Yeah, it's going down to the 30s and 40s, and I was like,
30s and 40s?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Maybe it'll probably only be like, it's probably just going to be like overnight.
Yeah.
Because that's like the low, you know what I mean? And that's usually like 3 in the morning or something.
When it gets reliably down in the high 60s, low 70s, I'll pull the car in there and I'll fucking take that intake manifold off and re-fucking seal that shit. Try to get rid of that engine light.
I'm just very excited because this is the only time of year in Florida that's like tolerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hot all the time.
It's hot all the time.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, that's why I said it was so nice when we went to Animal Kingdom last Thursday. It was just, the weather was like perfect.
Yeah.
Like it was actually kind of cool, like in the morning. Like the breeze was kind of cool, and I was like, wow, it's kind of, I kind of wish I brought a jacket a little bit. But I was like, no, I'm not carrying a jacket around all day because I know how Florida do. So, yeah, my sister said the same thing. She's like, yeah, I know how Florida do. She's from here too. She's like, yeah, so I don't want to fucking carry a jacket around all day because you know it's going to be. But it didn't actually get hot. It was kind of like the perfect temperature where it's like it wasn't chilly and it wasn't warm. Like it was just comfortable. Like you didn't even think about it. I don't know what the high was, and it wasn't like super sunny, and it was kind of sunny, but it wasn't too bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's saying that he found an original Game Boy.
Yeah, I think that's what it
Game Boy at work. It's a
yeah,
black
the
and white
Game Boy.
one. And they're worth $80. Yeah, a lot of that classic video games and classic toys are fucking worth a lot. I got some 70s Japanese Shogun Warriors in there. That one of them is that Mazinga Shogun Warriors. It's one of the big ones. It stands 2 feet tall. In the condition I have and the level of completeness, I got 2 of them. And the more complete one's probably about 300 right now. And the other one would be probably about 150. It's missing some stuff. But no, I used to collect all that shit. And it's kind of the same thing with old video games. Some of that shit is like, I can't believe it's worth something. Before we had like in the days of Atari and Odyssey, we had these handheld games from the 70s and the 80s that were just like red dots.
Yeah, I
remember those things?
Yeah, I had some of those.
Some of them represented like football games.
Yeah,
those things are worth a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's because they don't exist anymore.
Well, yeah, because nobody fucking kept them. Yeah, well, that's kind of true of anything that's collectible.
Yeah.
It's never shit you think it is. It's always like I said, like bullshit, like baseball cards or like some kind of doll or something like that, because most people threw them out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have them anymore. Like, and I saw one time too, I don't know if this is still the case, but a few years ago, any kind of like original posters, like theater posters from movies from like the 30s or 40s, something like that, those are really, really collectible. Like you can get all kind of money for those, like if they're in decent condition. Because like I said, nobody saved them. Everybody threw them away.
Some of that shit's collectible, but you can't get paid for it.
Yeah.
Like, used to be some of those Cabbage Patch dolls.
Yeah.
Were worth a lot of money. They were trying to collect them all. But I think the bottom fell out of Cabbage Patch. I don't think they're worth anything anymore.
Yeah, it's probably like, I kind of feel like there's still a lot of those around. Because that's not really the kind of thing that you throw out.
What happens is that the collectors vanish.
Yeah,
so
that too.
All this stuff opens up. It was like comic books. You would think that comic book collection you think that these comics would be worth a lot of money, and sometimes they are.
Depends, yeah.
But it depends. They're only worth something. They're only worth what a collector is willing to pay.
Yeah.
And there are they're editions of like it's the first edition, first release of some 1930s or 1940s comic book hero, but he's not famous. You know, what I mean, like, you don't. It's not anything. No, it's not a comic book anybody knows about anymore. But it's still the first edition. It's the only known one. There's like 3, and they'd be appraised for like $1 million. But there's no buyers.
Yeah, you'd need somebody willing to pay that $1 million.
Yeah, there's no
and
buyers.
That's a very niche market.
Yeah, the guys that knew that and wanted that are long dead.
Yeah.
Now Superman #1 is still worth a lot. Because everybody
knows who Superman is.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right.
Nobody knows who these kind of like little niche superheroes
and shit like that's always going to be worth money. It's a cultural
man.
I'll have that shit in fucking some safe deposit box somewhere.
What was
but
that?
I'm sure there's probably comic books from Flash Gordon that aren't worth much. That you would think that would be worth a lot. Like, you know, something from the 40s or the 30s. But you're like, oh yeah, it's appraised at like $500 for that one, but nobody buys it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what I mean. It's
I'll give
an
you
appraisal is one thing.
Yeah.
But
I'll give you $75 for it. You know, that kind of shit.
Like depending on how rare it is and all that other kind of stuff. But like I said, especially real niche shit like that, if you don't have anybody around that's willing to pay that money, then it might as well be worth nothing.
Yeah, because you know, that's just like and there was a fucking whole industry here in the U.S. of fake collectibles, and it was greatest generation and boomer generation was into buying collectible shit, and the worst offender was a television fucking sales company called the Franklin Mint, and they would sell.
Yeah, they sold all kind of bullshit.
They would sell all kinds of bullshit, commemorative coins,
all those plates. Remember those
plates, collector's plates, and my dad's mom, my grandmother, on my dad's side, bought those fucking collector's plates. Man, she thought those things were really fucking worth something, you know, because they had a certificate of authenticity and they were numbered. And she bought that shit over the television.
I can make you all the certificates of authenticity you want.
She paid $20 a plate. So, you know, that's, you know, when she gets old, that's just going to be worth a lot of money. She was old when she bought it.
Yeah.
She died and every one of those plates ended up in the garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage truck picked it up.
They usually just end up at Goodwill, sadly.
Yeah, they're not worth anything.
I mean, the thing, I had a friend when I was in high school, and she had them from Wizard of Oz, but she didn't think they were going to be worth anything. She just liked the Wizard of Oz. Like, she just thought they were pretty.
Yeah. That's all they were is a trinket.
You know what I mean?
They're a trinket.
She just had them mounted on her wall, you know what I mean?
I don't think they're ever worth anything.
No, because they made so many.
They made so many of them, and they were marketed towards old ladies.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, it's an investment.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's going to
end up in a dumpster. Yeah, and the old ladies
someplace.
that buy them die within 20 years.
Yeah.
So when they die and hit the market used, they're not old, you know. They're 20 or 30 years old, and the market is gone.
Yeah.
There's no old ladies wanting to buy them. They're all dead, you know. And a young person doesn't want nothing to do with it. They don't know what that is. Don't care about a collector's plate. But it was sad, though, in a way, when you think about it, because, like, you know,
sad,
they die, and you're taking all their treasured possessions and throwing them in the garbage.
Well,
but
what else are you gonna do? I mean, you don't have anywhere to put it.
You can't put it anywhere. Nobody wants it. But, you know, they'd have been crying their eyes out. Oh, that's worth so much. No, it isn't.
It's really not.
No.
I hate to tell you.
And it was something that kind of trained that generation to think in those terms. They couldn't fucking grasp, because they were kind of brainwashed. They couldn't grasp the fact that they bought something through mass media, television. And for some reason, they thought it was rare. Like they were the only person watching television. You know?
It's like millions of people saw that.
Yeah,
thousands of people bought those.
Yeah, and it's because you live in a small town. You think you're the only person that has that, because you don't see very many people. No, every old lady across the fucking country in trailer parks and fucking, you know, and all these are like trailer park level women bought all those things. Those were hung up down on the walls in the little fucking corridors inside the trailer. Her ultra valuable collector plates.
I remember the Gone with the Wind ones.
Yep. I remember the Gone. She had the one with fucking Scarlett O'Hara on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's worth a lot of money. No, it's not.
Yeah, Oracle says if you're gonna collect something, do it because you love it, not because you think it's worth money. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not averse to people collecting things that they like. It's just the whole thing is they tried to trick these people into thinking that this shit was gonna be valuable.
Well, yeah, yeah. They didn't pay much for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't really a ripoff. They did like it. That's why they were buying it.
Yeah.
The point was that I think the disappointing part is that they didn't live to be disappointed because they died and nothing happened. The place got thrown away. They didn't know.
Yeah.
But the strange part about it is that they thought they were rare, and because they came from a mint.
Yeah.
The Franklin Mint. Whoa, what the fuck is that?
It's like I can call my company anything I want to, pretty much.
Yes, they're thinking of the fucking. They're thinking of the U.S. Treasury.
Well, yeah, that's exactly why they named it that, because it sounded like all official.
Official, yeah. They
knew what they were doing.
Yeah, oh man, that's just coming out of fucking Fort Knox. Yeah,
yeah, that's exactly what they wanted to.
That's what they wanted. Yeah, what they wanted them to think.
Yeah,
but no, it was coming out of a warehouse, a dusty ass warehouse.
Bitch, I know.
Dusty ass warehouse with a bunch of old fat dudes in forklifts, loading up trucks, going, man, get out of here, man. Yeah, they're spitting on the floor and shit. It was not. Yeah.
Yeah, we only made a limited number of these. I'm like, well, that's true of everything.
Yeah.
You can't make an infinite number of something.
Yeah, here.
So by its very definition.
Together. Look, I'm limited amount. There's only one of the combination of those two turds together.
That's the only one. It's super rare. Only one in the world.
Well, it was the same generation that would go to Cracker Barrel and buy fucking souvenirs for the town that they're in. I passed through Gold Mine, Kentucky. You know, and they had these little glass mugs, and they were all the fucking same trinket, but just something different printed on them.
Yeah.
And they'd take that home and put it up like they'd been somewhere.
They wanted to show people that they'd been to some other little podunk town someplace.
That's why some of the that's why some of these fucking big organizations, you know, World Economic Forum and shit, they said they wanted everybody to live in these damn fucking little coffin apartments, so you don't need you will own nothing and be happy. The reason why they're saying that is because they're fucking ultra rich. If they were to go through that one old lady's trailer, they would just say, this is all junk. She doesn't need any of this.
Well,
because from their point of view, they wouldn't own a single one of those things. So like, we need to get her out of this trailer and we'll put her in a cell. She can watch TV. You know. It's less fucking environmental trouble. Now we got to throw away all this garbage.
The thing about it
is
what
they're thinking.
If you watch Hoarders, you can see that they kind of have a point.
Because
some of these people, some of the people on Hoarders, like back in the day, and my grandfather was a hoarder. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about. I lived in his house for a little while that had the one little path through the room, and then everywhere else was just like stacked with crap. He didn't. I don't think he had any Franklin Mint plates. Well, he might have in there somewhere. I don't know what all was.
Yeah, hoarders are an extreme example.
But it's kind of a thing where, like I said, I don't mind if people want to buy things. You can buy whatever you want. Like, it's a free fucking country so far. But like,
it'd be a whole property filled with
junk. It's
a
whole. You're kind of thinking, well, after you die, your kid's gonna have to deal with this, because after my grandfather died,
you had to clear
he had actually hoarded up the beautiful, essentially, mansion that he lived in Daytona Beach. They had to tear it down because it was so fucked up. The
structure was so fucked up.
And he moved to another pretty nice house, like on Beach Street, because he had an okay amount of money.
And then
he hoarded that one up too. Yeah. So when he died, it was just full of stuff, and like the staircase had broken. He couldn't even go upstairs anymore.
Had too many books on.
You had to get a bucket and like kind of climb up there, like after he died and they were trying to clear the place out.
Books and machines and
he collected books, guns, jewelry, because he was a jeweler for a long time. Cameras, old computers, all that kind of stuff. He had all that kind of stuff, and my mom and all her siblings had to go there and like clean it out, and they just had to like rent dumpsters, and it was just. I don't even remember how many dumpsters it was. Holy crap, it was so many. But it was just wall-to-wall stuff.
But the funny thing is that some of these real rich globalist type people and shit look in your apartment and they just see that's just junk they wouldn't own. They say, well, you don't need any of this. We're gonna put you in a cell, basically. But that's very control freak thinking. They're saying, look, the life that you have isn't the life I would want to live. So you really shouldn't have a life. You know, that's kind of what they say. Your life is encroaching on everybody else, but they're saying that to just the average person. You know, kind of like the average person really shouldn't have a life. They shouldn't have all these little treasures that they like because it's a Franklin Mint plate. You know what I mean? But they enjoy it. You know,
yeah. Like I said, I don't really necessarily want to shit on people for having that, even though it is kind of tacky. But it's just kind of like it's just funny to me that they bought them thinking that they were an investment. And like I said, they bought so much of that stuff, and it's just gonna go in a dumpster someplace. Yeah. You know, because their kids don't want it. Nobody else wants it.
Yeah, and it's very sentimental over shit that is just shit. You know, you just throw it away. But I think it's, you know, when you have people that are just very basic and they didn't really do a whole lot, didn't really live a very exciting life, they didn't really have very many possessions, just little things, they kind of treasured them, you know what I mean, as if they were precious. Yeah. But they're not, they're little common little trinkets.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Like, you know, if people want to, you know, people have little stuff. I have a bunch of little stuff that I like, you know. Yeah. So
I just look at it and I go like, man, that crappy old couch, man, this shit here. But, you know, that was all they knew, though. You know, that was their stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like back in the day, everything was like kind of crappy. Every time like I watch an old movie from back then, from the 70s and 80s, I'm like, man, remember how fucking shitty like the furniture looked and all the houses looked so fucking cheap. And
I saw a news report one time of a gun hoarder. All right, he was a guy who, and they were fucking talking about the dude on television. Like he was a menace to the fucking world, that he had a huge arsenal of tens of thousands of fucking guns, you know, this and that. And I'm going, really? What the fuck? And they're showing the cops pull all these guns out of there. And he had died. I think it was one of those things where he had died, or he died up in there. And I was expecting to see some good shit. No, it was nothing but shit. Just junk. Yeah. Junk guns. Like, you know, single shot, break breech, 20 gauge, 410 shotguns, little 22s, and just shit that you can buy in the United States for, you know, used for like $30, $20, street price. Shit that you'd find in every fucking house in the South. Just junk guns. Shotguns and 22s. Mechanical stuff. You know, little bolt action 22. I didn't see anything come out of there. And then they try to highlight deadly assault weapons. And it was a 22 caliber replica of a cheap, it was a Mitchell AK-22 is what it was. That was probably one of the nicest things he had. And it was just those were cheap. It was just a semi-auto 22 long rifle that was meant to look like an AK-47. But in no way was it an AK. It was 22. It's a toy. But I just think it's funny. I'd say gun hoarder. Man, I was waiting to see some serious shit, man. Fucking classic fucking... Because they were saying that some of the shit was classic fucking collector's rifles and shit. No, they were just old stuff from the 30s. And it was junk in the 30s.
Gramser says in the 1970s, the Time Life books were supposed to be investments. The Cowboys, the Lawmen, the Pioneers. I remember those. I remember the commercials for those. I never bought any of those, but they did have a series that was like paranormal or creepy shit. Yeah. And I actually...
They were good. Man, Myth, and Magic.
Yeah. Like, I actually didn't buy those, but I checked them out of the library, because, of course, the library had
My dad had the Western...
I'm a cheap bitch like that.
My dad had the Western series. You had to, like, buy a subscription to it, and a new one would show up every month. That's how it went. They were, like, leather bound. They were good books in the day, because it was pre-internet.
They were actually pretty nice.
Yeah, they were just compiling photos and shit and stories of the Old West. Yeah. Each one was different. So they were actually pretty good. The paranormal one was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked that they had like a ghost one and a vampire one and a werewolves one. Yeah. They had all kind of cool shit. And then they had like you said, they had the Mad Myth and Magic series that was like that was pretty cool too. They had like a voodoo one and all.
See, back in the Stone Age, didn't have computers, so you had to buy an encyclopedia. Every family had to have an encyclopedia, or so the salespeople said, and you'd see encyclopedias in houses. And it was a big series, you know. And it was door-to-door salesmen would sell those things to you. Which is kind of the entire world's knowledge at your fingertips.
Kind of crazy to think about nowadays.
What's that?
It's kind of crazy to think about nowadays.
But that was the only way because that was like the library for your house.
Because you couldn't check. I remember that, like the reference section in the library.
Couldn't take
them. You could sit there in the library and read them all day long, but you can't take them home. You couldn't check them out. So, I mean, you could.
It was another world.
You could photocopy the pages. Yeah. But that was like 5 cents a pop.
So it made sense. It made sense to have an encyclopedia in that era because you didn't have internet access.
Yeah.
And the Time Life series of the fucking Old West and the paranormal thing, that was actually just an extension of selling encyclopedias.
Yeah.
And it was magazine companies doing it. Which, it was a gig, and they made a lot of money doing it.
Yeah. And like I said, they weren't... I don't think that was necessarily a way... Like I said, I didn't buy them. Like,
No, that wasn't a ripoff.
No. Like, because you did actually get something, because the books actually were nicely put together, and they were interesting.
Yeah, had information in them and stuff, you know what I mean? And they were topical. It was like an encyclopedia, but it was specific to a certain segment, like the Old West. And then it was divided up: gunfighters, pioneers, trailblazers, shit like that, the Indians. And they were kind of like light reading. They weren't real in depth. A lot of photographs. I grew up as a kid looking at it. Oh, wow, that's cool. And so, a lot of people had that one. And I don't think they were expensive.
Yeah, I don't remember how much the subscription was,
They sent you a new one every month.
Yeah, a new one came every month.
And I think you might have paid $10 a month or something.
Something like that. And you got like a new one, which is not terrible for because
No.
they were hardback and full
there
color and
was
everything.
no computers. And another thing is that it was before cable. And so you were dealing with fucking regular broadcast television, and that shit was very, very, very light on information. That shit kept you dumb as possible. It got a little bit better on when cable came out, but not much. And then VHS was still decades away before you could rent a tape, like a VHS tape that might be a documentary. So you just had to wait till something came on television. So you couldn't learn anything from TV, really. So you had to read it.
I still remember, and this might have even been in the late 80s or early 90s. I still remember if you wanted to buy a movie on VHS, it was like $90.
Yeah,
because I remember I wanted to buy the Rocky Horror Picture Show when it came, because it was a big deal when it first came out on VHS. I don't remember what year it was.
And $100
but it was like
$90.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, and that's not adjusted. It was $90 in those days.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Which would have been probably more like $300. But it is. What do you say? Probably more like
I don't know. I'd have to look. But that's why the rental market blew up so much, because nobody could afford to buy movies.
Afford to buy them, yeah. And they made sure that you really couldn't buy them. I think it was all just it was a way of making all that shit very precious, very profit oriented. And then I remember when VHS players first started appearing in houses, they were big.
Yeah.
First time I saw one, that fucker was huge, man. And it was like a couple $1,000.
Yeah,
money back then.
Yeah, they were very expensive.
Only a real rich family could own that. And then it seemed like 5 years later, they were still big, but they were a little bit cheaper. Like an average family, an average middle class home could afford one. And I think they were probably $1,500, $1,200 of money back then.
What the hell's that guy doing out there?
What is that?
It sounds like he's in our driveway.
Yeah. What is that?
Is he edging? It sounds like an edger.
No, it's dark.
It's what? I can't hear you. Yeah, it's like dark outside. The fuck are these people?
He's using some kind of power tools. I think he's in his garage using something.
Okay. It sounded like he was like right outside.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it was some weird shit.
Yeah, I was like, somebody out there edging the yard in the dark.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that all about? I mean, knowing our neighbors, it's not that weird, but you know what I mean. Although I think that
what are they saying in there?
I don't know. I can't really. I have to go to the bathroom and
okay. I'll be. I didn't bring my glasses.
Well, my glasses aren't working. I need stronger ones.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get my glasses, people. Hold on one second. I gotta go. No, dead. I'll be there in a second. I gotta get my glasses. No, I'm back. No, it was just, it was a different time back then. Yeah, 15-minute city. You would eat the bugs and all that shit. Oracle saying that one of my grandmothers had the very grandma collection of the little ceramic figurines of all the state birds posing with the state flowers. Yeah. Yeah, I think I vaguely remember some shit like that. That was the kind of shit they'd try to sell to Meemaw. Yeah, and they'd sell her that shit over fucking a television commercial. Or maybe the fucking... Yeah, and you'd probably have to buy like a subscription to that shit. And every month, we're going to send you, for the next 50 months. Which, how long would that be? Fucking 5 years, 6 years? No, it's probably you had to buy them... And every week or something, they would fucking send you a new fucking little statue with a state bird. And so you could collect all 50. Oh, man. Yeah, and Meemaw would be trying to fucking... I'm going to call him Mamaw. Mamaw would be fucking clearing out a whole fucking wall and putting up little shelves to put all 50 of her fucking state birds ceramic statues up there, and the rest of the family's like, no.
I mean, I like birds, but...
No.
I was just laughing because we used to call my great-grandmother Meemaw.
Yeah. That's all southern shit. Meemaw, Mamaw.
I know.
Yeah. Paw.
Yeah.
Papaw.
Yeah.
All kinds of weird shit like that.
Meemaw. I'd forgotten all about that.
Up in New England, they go grandmama.
No.
Yeah, said she grew up very poor, and in retrospect, I think she collected those because she enjoyed getting to spend money on something that was just pretty and not practical. Probably right.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
And my grandmother was the same way on that side of the family. They buying those fucking plates.
Well, it's always kind of...
And it was like a big decision, like, oh, she's got to put her fucking glasses on. Oh, hell yeah, with that one. It's like she's fucking buying, but fucking... Like she's on the fucking stock exchange or something,
Well, I think you've kind of hit upon something there because it's like most of the time when you buy stuff, it's like practical shit. Like, for example, other day I had to buy toothpaste and I also had to buy a new toilet plunger because my old one broke.
I broke that bitch.
So I was like, wow, this is what adulting is like. Just buying this random lame shit. Spending money on that. So it's just like, you don't usually get a chance to buy something like just fun. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
And I always feel bad when I do. I know I shouldn't, but... Because, like, pretty much the only things I ever buy... Because I don't usually leave the house, so I just order shit off Amazon. Most of the shit I buy is just, like, toiletry type shit. Like shower gel and that kind of crap. And cat stuff. Cat food, cat treats.
I buy everything else.
All that other kind of stuff. Deodorant.
I gotta do all the shopping. I buy all the clothes.
Well,
Jen, you got new clothes coming.
Oh,
she pays, but
Well, yeah. Well, and
but,
he shows me them, but like,
I show her what's coming.
He picks stuff out for me.
Yeah, because she won't buy anything for herself.
Well, I just feel bad because I grew up with no money. Yeah. And I always had to like scrape together money just to get shit I needed. Yeah. So I always every time I just want to buy something that's just like indulgent, I'm always like, oh, I can't do it. You know what I mean? I know it's pathological, but that's kind of how I grew up, Somebody said, CB said how funny if Pookie's head pops up. Pookie was in here a second ago. Yeah. She might be hiding behind the curtains. I'm not sure. She was kind of running around. Let me see. So you can see better than I can, probably. I need to get some more... You know what's stupid? Okay. So these glasses here, which I think, according to Tom, are the most flattering ones that I have. Yeah. Because they're big and round. Yeah. Do you know what a fucking bitch it is to find... I can't find any reading glasses this size. I think I got these a long time ago off... I think it was Alibaba. Like, it took like 3 weeks for me to get here.
They were even bigger. Yeah.
And so I've been looking, and I need, because my eyesight is kind of deteriorating, so I need like stronger ones because I think these are 2, and I need other ones. So I've been looking like everywhere, and I can't fucking find any that are this big. Like, I found plenty of like round, kind of rimless looking ones.
Is that the new ones over there?
Yeah, like I got new
little ones.
Yeah, and I got these, and I can see a lot better in these because these are 3s and these are just 2s. But
weren't you just wearing those earlier though?
I was wearing them earlier so I could see better.
Let me see.
But I put these on. I think these look better, the bigger ones, but I can see better in these ones. Like, see, now I can see a lot better, you know? I guess they don't
look at me.
I guess they don't look too bad.
Yeah, it looks okay.
All right. So I can see better with these ones on.
There isn't a big difference.
I think these are the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it these? Wait a minute. Maybe it's these ones. They have like a yellow tint to them. Let me see. I can't decide. I don't know which one it is because I have a couple pairs that are like, oh, okay, no, it's these ones.
Yeah.
These ones.
Yeah, that looks good too.
Oh, okay. So I can actually see a lot better in these.
Yeah, use those.
But I'm kind of looking for, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to go somewhere that has like a lot of reading glasses and pick so I can see them. Because I ordered these. I measured those ones.
Yeah.
The big ones. And these ones said that they were almost as big as that. But then when I got them, like, those are clearly not as big as they said they were. You know what I mean? Because I was expecting them to be, like, smaller than that, but not that much smaller. Because these are, like, that's, like, 2 1/4 inches.
Yeah.
And these were supposed to be 2 inches across, and they're clearly not.
You had an even bigger pair. There was, like, a ½ inch big, or a quarter.
No, they're the same size as those.
Oh, they were the same size as those?
They're the same size as those.
That were clear. They didn't.
Yeah, they just weren't readers.
Okay, yeah.
So
you
it's
got
like,
those off Alibaba.
That's what I said, but I even looked on Alibaba today, and I can't find
Yeah.
anything like that, like, nearly. Yeah. I've seen some oversized ones, but they're not round. They're kind of more like that. So I might... Not cat-eyed, but not just kind of flatter on the top.
Yeah.
And I might get a pair like that, but I like the ones with, that have, like, the clear frames.
Right.
You know? So I might get some of those. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't like these as much as the bigger ones, but I can see a lot better in these.
On screen, they look about the same.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you guys think? They probably look about the same.
Yeah, I can actually read.
Or advanced, you look gorgeous with both.
The shit on the screen now instead of... I could kind of read it before, but it's starting to get blurry around the edges. So, like, I got these ones, and these are like...
I was just talking about they also sold paint by number kits. I don't really remember those.
I remember those. I had a lot of those when I was a kid.
I don't really remember them.
I had all kind of fucking...
So you could hang it up like a fine art in your house. Yeah. And I painted that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was all... It had numbers on it, and like the numbers would correspond to
a color.
Yeah. Well, I did them when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I used to get them for... Because I was like an arty kid, so I would always get them for presents and stuff. I had ones of horsies, and I had all kinds... I had mostly horse ones, because I was kind of into horses.
What I remember mostly of them selling was those damn fucking record compilations.
Yeah, I had some of those.
Remember those? You know, the sounds of the fucking 30s. They have the Ink Spots collection and all this looking old shit. They'd have all that on there. Probably because...
K-Tel.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been K-Tel. Then they have like disco classics and shit. Rock classics. They're trying to sell you this record. It was probably a double record. I had to go back and look at those old commercials. Remember? And they'd list all the fucking songs that was on it.
I had a couple of those, but they were mostly like... It's kind of like more recently they had Now That's What I Call Music, where it had like the big hits of whatever year.
Yeah.
I had a few of those. Because I remember I had some of those like from the early 80s.
And you got those off over the television?
I don't think so. I think I just got them... Oh, maybe it was Columbia House. Remember Columbia House? Like 10 cassettes for $1 or whatever it was?
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? It was like a whole subscription service. They used to sell like in Reader's Digest.
I just remember them selling records.
Yeah.
Although I think maybe they were available on tape.
Yeah. I had a couple of records and I had some on cassette too.
Yeah, and they were always like compilations.
Yeah.
K-Tel was one of the main.
I had some K-Tel ones.
Yeah. How much was a K-Tel record? Was it one record or was it two?
The ones that I had were one record. I think I had one... I'm trying to remember what songs were on it. I remember that... I remember Abacab by Genesis was on there. Promises by Naked Eyes was on there. What else was on there? Mexican Radio by Wall of Voodoo. Pretty sure that was.
So you're
on
getting
there.
80s stuff.
Yeah, like I said, it was like early. I think that was 82. Like I had one of those. I don't remember how I got it, though. I don't remember if I got it, like, through Columbia House or somebody bought it for me. Or... I don't know. I don't think I bought it with my own money. So somebody must have given it to me.
What did the record albums... What did the cover look like? Do you
It
remember?
was just kind of generic.
Generic?
I think the one that I had, the cover, I remember it being kind of, like, orangish.
Yeah.
And I think it looked... Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, it sort of looked a little new retro wavy, what they would call it nowadays, but
okay.
but not as cool looking because
Right,
it was
yeah.
actual 80s stuff, which didn't look as good. You know what I mean? But I think it was kind of orange, and then it was like dark blue. I can't remember what was on there, though. It was some kind of grid kind of, you know, it was 80s shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm trying to remember. Fuck, man, what the hell else was on there? It was kind of a combo between sort of new wavy kind of stuff and then kind of... Pretty sure that Golden Earring song was on there. I think that was on there too. Shit, now I'm going to have to go look it up. Like, because I'm kind of curious. Because I remember listening to it quite a bit. But, you know. Yeah, Orc said she loved the paint by numbers kits. Yeah, I really like those. Honestly, I had a bunch of... I think you can do this, still do this nowadays. But I used to sometimes go to the craft store when I was a kid, which was, I think, was a Ben Franklin where I grew up. I think that was a chain, maybe. I'm sure it's not around anymore.
The commercial I remember
But,
the most was the damn Ink Spots collection.
Yeah.
Remember this?
But you could buy little plaster characters, and you could paint those, like 3-dimensional. And I had some, when I was little, I had some strawberry shortcake ones. And I think, I might be remembering this wrong, but I think that those ones maybe had, like, paint that had scent in it. But I could just be talking out my ass. Because remember that if you grew up, and I think, like, strawberry shortcake dolls, like, had, like, a little bit of a resurgence many years ago, like, several years ago. But the strawberry shortcake dolls had scent. They smelled like stuff, and I had a couple of those. I had the strawberry shortcake one. I had the peach one. They had names, but I can't. And she smelled like peaches, obviously. And then I had the blueberry girl, and maybe one other one. But I could have sworn that, like, the paint sets that came with the little figurines that you could paint, and I think they were just made of plaster. I think the paint had, like, scent in it. But maybe not. Maybe I'm just remembering that wrong. Sydney Lane says diamond paintings are getting more popular now. They're fun, but can be time consuming. What is that? What does that entail? Like, is it kind of like a painting, but you make it with, like, little crystals or something? Like, that's what I'm picturing, but I could be totally off base. Yeah, Heather said I did too, but they still look nothing like the original when I was done. Oh, I was, like, real... OCD about painting those, so mine always came out looking exactly like the box, because if it didn't, I would stress the fuck out about it, because you know how I do. I'm not that different. That's how I was when I was a kid. Oh, I fucked it all up. I went outside the number 28 little blob there, you know what I mean? And for some reason, I just remembered, kind of off on a little tangent, I just remembered color forms. Do you guys remember color forms? They don't make those anymore, do they? I'm sure they haven't made those for many, many years. I had a bunch of those when I was a kid. For some reason, I really liked color forms. And they came, like, in a big box. It looked like a board game box. But then it was just like a little like a cardboard, like a pressed cardboard, like, little scene. And then it came with all these little kind of plasticky, floppy characters, and you could move them around, and they would stick on there, kind of.
What are you talking about?
Color forms.
That sounds familiar.
You don't remember color forms? And I had a Charlie Brown one.
That's the machine you used to make them, right?
No.
Okay.
I had a Charlie Brown one. I had a Muppet nightclub one. That was my favorite. That one was pretty cool, actually. I think I had a Batman one. I had a bunch of other ones, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember Light Bright. Light Bright sucked.
Oh, I had a Light Bright too.
Couldn't stand it.
I had a Light Bright too.
Didn't like it. I didn't like the damn Etch-a-Sketch either. That thing frustrated me.
We also had one of those. Yeah, I didn't really like that. I liked Light Bright though. I had a lot of fun with that.
it just Light Bright wasn't me.
Yeah. You had to be kind of patient.
It was more like a girl's thing too, I think, and it was just more of an art thing,
Yeah, and I had a lot of art type toys when I was younger.
I wasn't really into that.
I had like a little clay wheel that you can like make fucking bowls and shit on. I had one of those.
I had Mazinga. I had Godzilla.
I had boy toys too, but I had a lot of art toys.
I had the Kenner fucking big alien. Remember that one? The Xenomorph.
Yeah.
I had that.
That's pretty sweet. I would have really liked to have had that.
That was
I
good.
did have the Godzilla though.
Yeah, I had the Godzilla.
That did his little tongue out, and his tongue was like
it was
fire. Like,
I had that.
Then he shot his fist too.
Yeah,
like
shot his fist. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that.
Yeah, and I also think the Xenomorph might have been Kenner that made that also. It was good. When I got it,
Probably.
man. I think it was Kenner. Then there was a few of them that I can't really remember the name of them, but there's one where it was a dude. It was kind of like a G.I. Joe. He was blonde though, and he had a red and black jacket. Like half of it was red on one side and half black on the other. And then the pants that he had were also red and black, but they were opposite.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
And you could peel his jacket off, and he had a clear chest. And when you press the button, you could see all his fucking blood going through there.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember what
oh my god, you just unlocked like a weird core memory.
He was supposed to be some kind of a cyborg or something.
Yeah. I don't think we had one, but I remember seeing those.
And I can't remember what that one was
So I might have
called.
had like a friend that had one or something.
Yeah,
I had forgotten all about that.
I had him alongside with the big G.I. Joes.
Yeah, I remember the big G.I. Joes.
I forgot what that one was.
We didn't have any of the big G.I. Joes. No, we just had the little action figure ones.
And I also had the fucking Steve Austin Bionic Man. It also went with... They were different series, but they were all kind of similar size.
Yeah.
And then the Bionic Bigfoot that went with it. It's a big... He looked like a big...
Yeah, no, see, I would...
Remember Bionic Bigfoot?
Yeah.
He looked like a big Wookiee.
I would have liked one of those.
Yeah, Bionic Bigfoot.
I was all about... I loved monster shit when I was a kid, yeah. And I still do, obviously.
Yeah, and then I had the G.I. Joe 6-wheeled fucking vehicle with the Egyptian fucking sarcophagus and the little crane and the...
Yeah.
And all that shit. It's when they were trying to move G.I. Joe away from military stuff to more like exploration stuff. Like you put him in a submarine, and you could put him in the bathtub, and you pump the pump, and it would flood the submarine. There's a white submarine with his bubble on top.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I had that. Wild shit, man. And had a fucking shark.
I think we had the shark.
And the shark was fucking tiny compared to fucking G.I. Joe. It didn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Like it's a baby shark.
Yeah, G.I. Joe stood about that tall, man. And the shark was only like that big. You know, you're like, what kind of shit? Not a very deadly looking shark.
No, it was like I said, it was just a baby one. Hey, Dave is here. He said, hey, you two, hope you are doing great. Thinking about going to Good Times tonight.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
We're going. We're going.
Yeah.
We went last Friday, too, because it was Halloween. Heido said, going to watch the new Frankenstein movie tonight. I've heard that's really, really good.
Yeah.
So...
He said he hated the Etch-a-Sketch, too. I couldn't stand
You couldn't do shit with it.
You couldn't make a picture.
You couldn't make a picture with it. It's like, it's not like... and I found that very frustrating, because I really like to draw.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. But it's like, when you draw something, that's kind of... You can kind of like lift the pen up and like put it over here and stuff, and you couldn't do that on the Etch-a-Sketch. So some people were really good at it because I had a friend or something that could actually draw shit on there. But obviously you had to do everything in one thing, and I just didn't have the patience for that.
Yeah, and for me the Light Bright was the same way.
No, I liked that one.
Well, I didn't like it because it was too low res. Not enough pixelation.
No.
You couldn't make a picture. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, they didn't want to make the little bulbs too small because then like people would be fucking swallowing them. And
yeah,
shit.
but I
mean they were pretty small as it was.
I was like, man, how am I going to do Star Wars on this? That's what was my thinking.
Right.
I can't do Star Wars on this because I was drawing little fucking Star Wars stuff. And
yeah, because you could every time you got a pack of like the templates.
Yeah.
Like it gave you like a whole bunch of like blank ones.
Yeah.
So you could make your own shit.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah. So we would do that too.
I didn't like it. I didn't like either one of those. trying to think of some of the other weird. That's cool that you remember the blonde guy with the fucking clear chest.
I didn't until you said it about his blood going through, and I was like, oh shit, I remember that.
Red on one side and blue on the other. You can see his heart and his lungs moving. And it, I want to say it was called. It wasn't Bionicle. It was something Atom Man or Bio Man, some shit like that.
Like I said, man.
Yeah. Bio dude. Bio dude. He was some kind of cyborg.
Okay.
And I think it was because they couldn't do a copyright infringement on $6 Million Man. That's probably looking back on it. I think what it was.
Every single toy company, if the other toy company had like some big hit with something, they're like, how can we rip this off without getting sued?
Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty much how the whole entire toy industry operates and has for a very long time.
There was no program. There was no show that went with it. He was just supposed to be like a fucking cyborg secret agent. Yeah. So they got to be talking about $6 Million Man.
Yeah. But not.
And the $6 Million Man doll, man. I'm gonna call it a doll. I'm not even gonna say action
It is figure. A doll.
It's a fucking doll.
They're all dolls. Sorry.
He had a fucked up looking face because he had a hole where his eye was. You could look to the back of his head. And it was supposed to, remember that shit?
I remember.
And it was supposed to fucking be like his telescopic vision, but when you looked back in there, things weren't bigger; they were smaller. Remember that?
Yeah.
Everything looked smaller, not bigger.
So it's kind of like you're looking through the wrong end of the telescope.
they're just fucking with you. You're a kid. You know what I mean?
Look, yeah. Ooh, it looks different, kind of.
Yeah. And you can press something on his back, and his arms would lift up, so you can lift up the engine block. He came with a plastic engine block.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't think we had that doll. I had the Charlie's Angels dolls, however.
Yeah, I didn't have them.
I remember that they all had different colored jumpsuits on.
Yeah, that was for girls. We didn't have.
One was red, white, and yellow.
Yeah.
I just had 3 of them. Weren't there 4 Charlie's Angels? I mean, I know there was 3 main ones, but wasn't there like a 4th one that like rotated out? It's been a long time since I've seen that fucking shit. I had a Charlie's Angels lunchbox too when I was really
girls would have liked
when
that.
I was really little.
There weren't any girls on my block. So I didn't get to see that.
Weirdly, I didn't really like... I mean, that's not weirdly if you know me, but it's like I didn't have a lot of dolls. I wasn't a big doll person. I had a couple Barbies that people had given me, and I kind of liked them like if they had like cool outfits, and I used to like to cut their hair off and color them with markers and whatnot. So I'd pull their heads off and stuff. But I did have this one doll that was kind of cool. That I can't remember what one of you guys might remember, but she came with all these stickers, and she was wearing a white bikini, and she had her hair, like her scalp is kind of fucked up. I think this is why I liked it, because I was just like, ooh, I could scalp her, you know what I mean? Like she had a scalp that turned, and like one side of her hair was black, and then the other side was white.
I remember that.
And then she could tan.
That. Yeah,
so like you'd put the stickers on her and you'd lay her out in the sun, and then like she would tan, and then you take the sticker off and it'd be like white there still.
That's because girls were doing that then.
Yeah,
they were sunbathing with stickers on them so they could get.
I don't remember like what that doll was called, but I had one of those. I don't think I bought it. I think like people gave them to me. I didn't ever buy it all.
So funny. I said there weren't any girls on my block. There was a girl on my block. And it takes me back to one of the last times I spoke to Jim North. I grew up with Jim North. He ended up becoming a CHIPS, a California Highway Patrol officer, and then he ended up being California State Police too. But when we were little kids, I called him probably in the year 2000, talked to him, and he brought up there was a girl on our block. She lived 2 houses over me. Her name was Sophia, and man, that was a wreck. Her dad was a foreigner, and he was from Greece. I think he was, but he was a legal citizen of the United States. But his girlfriend was from Mexico, and she was an illegal alien. I remember this. And they were always fighting. And I was a little boy fucking playing with something in front of the television, and there was banging on the door, you know, and Sophia's mom was crying, and she didn't speak a lick of English. And she had Sophia with her. And fucking, she was trying to push Sophia into the house. Sophia was probably about 5. I was probably about 6 or 7.
It's like, here, take care of her for a
Yeah,
second.
take my baby. And she's trying to make
Because she
sense
thought
of what's
something bad
going
was
on.
going to happen, maybe.
Yeah, she said she said she was going back to Mexico.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she's going back, and and mom was like, oh no. Now later, the husband came over, and he was like, no, she's crazy, you know, it'll be all right, type of deal. She had a little brother too. I don't remember what his name was. But poor little Sophia, she was probably about 6, 7. Probably the last time I saw her, she was probably about 9.
I hope she
10.
turned out okay.
I'm gonna tell you what happened to her.
Oh, uh-oh. Is it bad?
No.
Okay, good.
So, I was talking to Jim North, you know, we were grown at this point, you know, I was fucking like 30 something at the time I was talking to him, and we were talking about some of the kids from school, and he goes, and see, Sophia didn't go to school. She wasn't supposed to be in the country. She was not a citizen or anything like that. This was California back in the 70s.
She didn't want to get caught, yeah.
Yeah. And he was bringing up some of the girls that we knew and grew up with. And he goes, "Remember Sophia?" And I go, "Yeah, what happened to her?" And I go, "Oh, she's here, man. Fucking, that's the hottest girl in town." Okay, I was like, "No shit," because she was nothing to look at when she was, 5 or 6. You know,
well, kind of hard to tell how people
turn out
when they're 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was only a couple years older. You know what I mean? But no, we went to school. We knew real cute girls too. You know, but like Kim Parks was cute the day she was born. So was Julie. I forgot what her last name was. And Kelly McCool. Yeah, my mom was friends with her. They were just little cuties, fucking growing up with them, in 3rd and 4th grade, crushing on them and shit. But he was like, "Yeah, man, Sophia's like the hottest girl in Carson." I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, she's fucking like, she's like a 9." I was like, "Fuck." He's like, "Yeah." But, I just thought that was funny.
But the thing about it, like I said, and it's, Oracle remembered, Tiffany Taylor had the changeable hair. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because I knew it started with a T. I just couldn't remember what her name was, but I used to think that was so funny that it's like you could, because I did not, even at that young age, I was like, I'm not laying out in the sun, fuck that shit. But she can lay out in the sun and get a little suntan. You know what I mean? I just thought that was so funny, and I like that you could turn her scalp around because I thought that was kind of fucked up. Because like I said, I like kind of horror-y shit even back then. So yeah. But no, what I was gonna say is that it's kind of hard to tell who's gonna turn out.
Yeah.
Looking good, because sometimes you see kids and they're like the cutest fucking kid ever.
Yeah.
And then when they grow up, you're like, man, it's not to be mean, but they just like average looking.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you see kids that are like kind of awkward looking or something like that, and then they turn out then they grow into it and then they look amazing.
Yeah. The last I remember, Sophia would just giggle and smile and fucking flirt, and she was about 6,
Oh.
And she was just, and she didn't speak any English from what I remember. Maybe a little bit. But
she didn't get, I'm glad it turned out okay.
Yeah, because later on in the 80s,
not a great situation.
Later on in the 80s, they changed the laws. They got mass amnesty.
Yeah.
So she ended up becoming a citizen.
Well,
that
that's
way.
good. Because I said,
she probably was a citizen.
If she was born here.
She was born here, and her dad was a citizen.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what the exact laws were, because she didn't go to school.
You could get away with that back then.
Yeah. But she ended up going to school later. But not.
Well, you can get away with that now too, because you can homeschool. You can just say you're homeschooling, even if
she wasn't getting any education.
I don't think they check. But
yeah, she was funny looking when she was a little kid though. Like her eyebrows were real dark and thick, and
she had some Frida Kahlo action.
Yeah, and her hairline was just slightly above her eyebrows, so it looked like her fucking hair.
Like she had a wig on that came. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew a girl like
she
that.
Looked like that. And she was very Mayan looking. Even though her dad was Greek, but evidently she didn't look like that for long.
Yeah.
Jim said that Jim said that she was she was a little kid, but Jim said that she was just stunning, and like a 9, and nice. Everybody liked her.
Well, that's always good
and
too.
And totally Americanized.
Well, yeah, I mean, she grew up.
She grew up here.
Yeah. She didn't know any different. I would imagine, but I mean, yeah, I was actually an adorable child.
What are you talking about?
But then
you don't look good now.
Well, no, it's I look kind of
chubby
awkward in my teenage
for a little
years.
bit, yeah.
But I was really cute when I was a kid.
Yeah, I saw.
I had that red hair and it was super long, like
yeah. I
down my
compared
butt.
you to somebody. I forgot who it was that you reminded me of. I told you that. I said, you look like. But I forgot who it was.
Somebody I've been told. I don't really
one of
get
those
told.
child actresses.
I look that much like because my mom used to get Pia Zadora all the time. I've never could, and she definitely did.
Definitely,
like that.
yeah. You guys don't know who Pia Zadora is. That means because you're young.
Yeah,
Pia was
my
a
mom
singer.
did look like that though.
Yeah, Pia was a singer slash actress. Kind
Actress, kind of.
Yeah.
She got put in movies because she married somebody that was a movie producer or something.
Yeah, she was like 16 and he was like 40.
Yeah, it was a little
So
creepy.
some shit like that. Yeah.
It was a little creepy. She was in Santa Claus Conquers the Martians when she was a child. So.
Oh, I remember. Was you kind of looked a little bit like a very young Linda Blair.
Yeah, I've gotten Linda Blair before,
yeah.
like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because she has the same kind of face, and actually, my ex-husband was a big fan of Linda Blair, and he told me, he's like, yeah you do kind of look like Linda Blair a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, when she was younger, because she has like the same kind of round, chubby-ish kind of face and shit like that. So yeah, I could see that. The only other person that I've been compared to, and this is very random, but somebody in high school, junior high, I can't remember, told me I looked like that little girl from the Art of Noise video, Close to the Edit.
I haven't seen that in so long.
And I was just kind of like, I mean, they played it on MTV all the time, so it wasn't that random. It wasn't like somebody said it like now. That would be really crazy. But like, it was like a year or two, like maybe a couple of years like after that had come out, maybe. Because when did that come out? That was like early 80s probably.
Yeah.
So maybe it was junior high.
Yeah, Desert. Andre the Giant, he did play the Bionic Bigfoot.
Did he?
Yeah, it was Andre the Giant.
Oh, shit.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I always remember Andre the Giant from The Princess Bride, which is one of the best movies ever.
Can you do me a favor, Desert? Go on Google real quick and fucking look for that toy that had the exposed.
Well, now I want to look at
the
it.
The clear
too.
chest and the blonde hair, and you could pump the back of him, and all his blood would go through the fucking veins and capillaries. They were blue on one side, red on the other, just like in an anatomy poster. That it wasn't realistic.
See, I would have been like super into that.
Yeah, and you could see the fluid going through it, the air bubbles and shit going through the blood. Yeah,
For some reason,
I forgot the name of him. But
that reminded me of.
He was like a cyborg or something.
Do you remember Slim Goodbody?
Sounds like a porn name.
It does kind of.
Yeah,
but no,
Slim
it was like a
Goodbody.
kids show that was like about anatomy.
Okay.
And the guy that played him, he was like this skinny dude that had kind of a little bit, I don't know if I'd call it an afro. It was a slight like white boy afro kind of. But he had like a bodysuit that was like flesh colored, but it had like all the organs on it, because that's the whole point of the show, was like to teach kids about anatomy and stuff.
Big Little shows up and says, "See y'all later."
Yeah, so maybe he is gonna come out.
Okay.
Because you better be there, because you
He'll be
said
there.
you were coming to Barbarella
there.
before and you didn't show up. So, you know what I mean. So you better come to Abyss this time. I'm so, you know, I'm threatening like you better come there, something like that. It's pretty fun. I don't know how it's gonna be, because they had a Halloween party there last week, so and that was pretty full. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If everybody, because I didn't expect them to do it again. I didn't expect Dimitri to do it again.
I tell you all another fucking toy I had. I remember it, but I couldn't tell you the name of it. It was a rip-off Star Wars toy. It came out after Star Wars, and all of a sudden space toys just appeared.
Well, yeah.
And it was a flying saucer. Probably a little bit more than a foot in diameter. And it was grayish silver. And it had a clear copula over the top of it, like window on the top of it. And it opened up somehow. I can't remember. It rotated. It opened up, and when it opened up, it had a ramp, and you could roll this robot that was on treads. It had treads on the bottom of it, and it had two arms and you could roll it up into place, and you pressed a button, and then it would close back. It was like wind up, and it had little landing gear on it and everything.
That sounds neat.
Yeah, it was really good. You could put a battery in the robot, and its body would light up because the center of it was clear. It was definitely like a rip-off R2-D2, but it looked cooler. It had arms.
I kind of want...
And treads.
I kind of want one of those.
And I can't remember what the name of that thing was.
I kind of want that now.
It was something like... it was something crazy like Star Robot or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It was
some like generic.
Yeah, but it was like a pretty expensive toy. But it was Star Wars inspired space ripoff.
That's what your grandma bought you for Christmas because she didn't know what Star Wars was?
Yeah, or there wasn't okay, no, I'm going to tell you what it was. Star Wars came out and the toys weren't ready. They were showing pictures
of
the
very famous.
Yeah, so for that Christmas of 77, a bunch of smaller companies said, oh, we're going to give them fucking some Star Wars this Christmas.
Yeah.
And they'd come up with just these crazy fucking toys. They were kind of spacey toys that were a little bit Star Wars-y.
Yeah.
And
Star Wars-esque.
Yeah, and they weren't cheap. They were still expensive because they knew that, oh, well, there's a demand for space shit.
For a spaceship.
And there's no Star Wars. So because I remember that I had that one for a long time. It wasn't cheaply made. It was made pretty well. It was a higher end toy. When I got it, I was like, oh, that's awesome, you know. And it kind of was better than a Star Wars toy. It was more complicated. But it wasn't that licensed, though. It wasn't that property.
Right.
It was an original property that it didn't belong to anything. You know, it wasn't based around a movie or anything.
Right.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, famously, if you have watched any documentaries about it, if you're old enough to remember, when the first Star Wars movie came out, nobody was expecting it to be the massive, ridiculously huge hit that it was.
Yeah.
And so they had the toy license. It was Kenner, right? That had the toy license. Yeah. And they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. And they didn't have the toys ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
So they gave people like promissory toys. Like they sold people like an empty box or like a little cardboard thing with all the figures.
We'll mail it to you.
That's not done yet.
Yeah.
Like we'll mail them to you.
Yeah.
When they're done, you know. When
they're done, we'll mail it to you.
I mean, I guess it ended up working out, but it's just. But a lot of other companies, smaller companies, did take advantage of that because they knew that. But that's just funny to me that they had no idea how fucking iconic that was gonna be. They just thought it was gonna be some dumb, like cheap.
Well, one of the things that happened
movie.
When Star Wars was a hit and the toys weren't ready is that guys in the toy business here said, well, we need to get some fucking space stuff here as quickly as possible.
Space stuff.
And they went to Japan because Japan already had toys ready. Robots, super robots.
Yeah.
Like Mazinger and fucking Dragon and shit, you know, which is from properties that they've been running for years. So they relabeled those as Shogun Warriors. But that was because Star Wars was around.
Yeah.
And there was never any cartoons for them. But I because I lived in California, I could get VHF 22, Channel 22, which is the local Japanese channel. And they were playing that shit.
Yeah.
They were playing Getter Robo G.
Yeah, so he'd seen all the cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it, but I could watch it. Now I understand it because I could get the DVD with
subtitles. Didn't have subtitles back then.
Yeah, and they were really well written, and they weren't for kids. They were for young adults. So there was a lot of adult themes.
Japan really ahead of the curve on cartoons aimed not toward children.
Yeah, and the cartoons had hot, heroic chicks, and you could see their nipples. The nipples would be on their uniforms.
You know, Tom was all about that.
I was like, damn, she's got a nipple. Nipples and shit.
Cool.
Yeah. But they were good. They were good stories, you know, just about bravery and fucking sacrifice. And it was the writer was Go Nagai was his name. He was a Japanese guy, and he loved Superman and American comic books. And that's what he was retelling Superman and retelling Spider-Man and shit like that. But it involved fucking giant mechanized robots you could get in.
Because that's kind of their thing.
Yeah. Now, it went the other way too. The Japanese saw Spider-Man. They liked how that looked. And then when they investigated they wanted that property. And when they investigated the stories, they were like, he doesn't have a robot?
Why doesn't Spider-Man have a robot?
Why doesn't Spider-Man have a robot?
All the coolest dudes have robots.
Yeah. So they gave him they rebooted Spider-Man. There is a Spider-Man for Japan. And he had a robot called Leopoldion. And it was, and there's Spider-Man, and he does shit, but it's live action. It's like Power Rangers.
Like Power Rangers, yeah.
And whenever he needs to get big because he's attacked by some fucking big giant monster, he's got to go get in his fucking robot.
Go get in his big giant robot.
Gets in a big giant robot.
Does he have to pay to store the big giant robot?
The giant robot usually usually in a Japanese Sentai.
Where does he stay otherwise?
It's called Sentai. All right, it's like Power Rangers. Power Rangers is a ripoff of Japanese Sentai. They bought that property and rehashed it and rebooted.
Put some American actors in it.
Yeah. Usually what happens is that you get in trouble and you call it, hey, robot, and then woo, it flies and it's there instantly. And then you jump up in it. It's not logical. It's instantly there.
That'd be
and
super
it's
cool.
in the base. It's in the base. And the base may be 100 miles away, somewhere in Japan. But you call it, it hears you, and it arrives in seconds.
Maybe you have a psychic link with it.
They show it flying.
I mean, might as well.
Yeah, show it flying and it arrives. And then you just jump up in the air at 400 feet, 10 stories, and then you go into its head. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Sorry, I just thought of somebody like just in a regular suburban house going, Alexa, send my giant robot.
Yeah, send giant robot. Well,
and then it turns up in the driveway.
And you
climb up in it.
Growing up in the 70s, we had two properties that had been pretty accurately translated and sold to the United States. One of them was Giant Robot. Johnny Sacco and Giant Robot, loved that one. And the other one was Ultraman. And when you look at Ultraman is a fucking kind of a reboot of Superman. But this is even better. He's Ultra. He's not super, but Ultra.
Yeah.
And it's alien. It's an alien dude saving the Earth.
Even though
but he's a regular Japanese guy, though, because the alien guy who's saving the Earth better be fucking Japanese.
Well, yeah.
So what happened was...
Every nation has their nationalistic...
Right. If you're going to save fucking Japan and you're an alien, you better fucking be Japanese.
You better look like a Japanese man.
So what they did is the aliens picked a Japanese guy to become Ultraman.
Because he was clearly the coolest dude.
You got to have a Japanese... Yeah, because you're just Japan.
Yeah.
If you got a Superman, he better look, and he's an alien, he better be an American. Look at Superman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better look all chiseled and white.
Better look
shit.
Fucking like the ultimate American did. So that's
don't look like an actual alien.
Right. So the Japanese are very quick on looking at foreign products and going, oh, I see why that works. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Superman, he's an alien. He's defending America. He sure doesn't look like an American, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So when they do that, they do the same thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, that completely makes sense.
Yeah. And then you can sell toys.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then you can hire a dude who's a famous actor to play him.
Yeah.
So you get people to watch the show. So that's how you do it. They knew exactly what they're doing. And then the monsters and the robots and the good guys and shit are all designed to become toy lines.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they did with...
That's what they do.
He-Man and all that.
He-Man, it's all pre-scripted. We're going to have this show, and of course, there's going to be toys. That's where we're going to make the money.
Because every week, like, we have a different bad guy show up, and we're going to make a toy of that.
Make a toy.
So you got to buy all of them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's how they do. CB says, Tom, was the toy you were talking about Dennis Fisher, Cyborg, and Muton figures?
Might have been.
Then he said, Pulsar, the ultimate man of adventure.
Yeah,
I think is
Pulsar.
the toy you were talking about.
Pulsar, yeah.
Pulsar, the ultimate man of adventure.
Yeah, that's him. Pulsar.
I love that.
Pulsar, the ultimate man of adventure. It was a Steve Austin ripoff. I think it was. He was supposed to be a secret agent, like a bio-enhanced fucking cyborg. Which that's Steve Austin. I think it's Pulsar, the ultimate man of adventure.
That's pretty cool. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, it sounds like it belongs to a movie, but it doesn't. Totally pulled out the ass.
Well, yeah, like I said, I kind of find that fascinating about...
Let me see him.
I kind of find that fascinating that so many of the beloved cartoons and stuff like that people remember from the 80s were basically just made to sell toys. They were like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Like, like He-Man and stuff like that. They came up with the toys first, like they came up with the toy line, and then they're like, well, we need something to sell these, like, to people.
That's him.
Yeah,
remember?
I remember that.
I'm gonna show you all a picture.
I remember that. But it's like we need those, and they're like, well, let's do a cartoon. Then all the kids will want it because it's a character from the cartoon, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of jumped on that. I'm not sure. I think He-Man might have been the first one to do that because I don't think it was the first one to do that. But that was the first one that was like came up with a whole thing. Just, there hadn't been anything like it wasn't a property beforehand. Like they came up with a toy line just because they did a bunch of market research, and the market research said that we're trying to sell toys to boys because they didn't really have a lot of toys that were popular with boys. They had Barbies and shit like that, but it wasn't really, they didn't really have a lot of good boy toys. So they're like, well, what is it that little boys want? Like, what are they thinking when they play or whatever? And one of the things that they noticed was that a lot of little boys wanted power. It's like they kind of felt like
their mom was telling them what to do.
Their mom was telling them what to do, and they didn't like it, and it's just kind of like so they're like, okay, well, who has power? So they started doing this kind of fantasy dude, big muscly guy. I have the power, all that kind of stuff.
They were all jacked,
and it fucking works like gangbusters.
Yep,
certainly did. But like I said, it started out as market research, and then it was a toy line, and then they made the cartoon after it in order to sell the toys. And most of the cartoons that people remember from the 80s were exactly that. It was just to sell toys.
Yeah, I don't have the toy anymore. They are worth a lot of money. I don't have them.
That'd be cool if you still had that.
If you have it in the box and everything, it's probably worth thousands.
Yeah, because I didn't remember it until you said it.
Yeah. The thing with all toy collection, which I've collected some, mostly Japanese stuff, and I have the shit in
yeah,
the
he
room.
has a bunch.
I got a bunch of shit.
Like Get a Robo and all that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
mostly Get a Robo, Grandizer, and fucking Mazinger and Great Mazinger.
Yeah, he's got a lot of those. A whole like shelf full.
Yeah, Go Nagai robots, super robot. And I also have all the DVD movies on. I got them all burned. You can't get legitimate copies here because there's all kinds of fucking licensing and marketing issues. So you can't get an official release of the series, which is Japanese got really weird merchandising laws. So you can only get it bootleg. They're very good programs. There's a good video game you can buy on Xbox One. You can download it of Grandizer. I think and it's got a good story and everything, and it's available in a couple different languages. But see it if you buy the game and play it. Listen to the fucking Japanese version with English subtitles and play the game. It's show accurate. It's called Feast of Wolves, I think is what it's called, and it's got the music down and all the and it's got good gameplay. It's just like a fighting game, and there's a story. Saving Earth from the vegans. And you think it's vegetarians, but that was just the name of the fucking vegan empire.
The
vegans, yeah. I think they might fucking call them vegans in the English version.
Yeah, it might be vegans. Like
but the Japanese word was vegan.
Because otherwise it's like, we're not fighting the vegans. Come on.
Yeah, they're fighting the vegans.
They're not going to hurt anybody.
And the vegans are attacking them with fucking super robots. And Grandizer is a vegan super weapon. But Duke Fleed, his planet got attacked. He was kind of like their version of fucking Kal-El, Superman. His planet got attacked, and he stole the enemy's super weapon and got away with it. And then his planet got destroyed. And then he went to Earth because it was the closest thing to his planet. And he could blend in. Well, they tracked that ship eventually. It took them a long time, but they tracked that fucking Grandizer spaceship to Earth. And now he's got to save Earth from these fucking aliens. And all kinds of shit happens. He eventually has to fight fucking King Kong on the top of fucking the Empire, not the Empire State Building. It's on top of the World Trade Centers. But it's a mechanized cyborg fucking King Kong.
Ooh.
They called him
Mecha
King Gory.
Okay.
King Gorilla. King Gory, yeah. Licensing,
Well, yeah, they don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Klaus and Tanya have just arrived.
Yeah, what's up? Klaus got his fucking teeth fucked up. He's got his teeth pulled, so he's...
Oh,
he's
shit. Oh.
It's funny, every time I get my teeth pulled or I pull one of my own teeth, I feel a lot better. Because I pulled two of my own teeth.
I pulled one of my own teeth.
Yeah,
because I have a tooth that's way in the back that cracked, and I just pulled it out.
Pull it out.
Yeah, it's all right.
Takes a couple days working on it.
No one can see it.
Yeah.
I can't afford to go to the fucking dentist. Come on.
It doesn't cost much to pull them. I just don't want to go through it.
Even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like I'll just wait until it falls out on its own.
Yeah. What I was saying about collecting those old toys is that if you have the toy and it's mostly complete, it's worth something if it's from the 70s, but it's worth a lot if you have the box. If you have the original box, it's worth a lot.
Yeah, because nobody's got that shit anymore.
Yeah. And in Japan, the guys that were making these things, they had a toy collection motive from the very beginning. Some of the dudes that worked from those companies would buy those or make a copy for themselves and keep it in the box waiting. And they had one that people were looking for. It was a Garada K7, it was a jumbo plastic like the big Shogun Warriors that they had here. And it was like that. It had two big old horns, and it's in the opening sequences of Mazinger. Not great Mazinger, but just the first one, Mazinger. It's in that. And it's just like a skeleton-looking thing with big horns. And it gets destroyed right in the opening credits over and over again. So every time you watch the program, you're going to see that thing get destroyed. They made a jumbo version of it. And they only sold a few hundred units. They only made a few hundred units, and it didn't sell in Japan because the parents thought it looked too sinister. Because it looked like a skeleton.
Weenies.
So they stopped making it. And the dudes that worked at the fucking company had a copy of it and kept it as like a keepsake. I read a story of a guy recently, I guess it was about 8-9 years ago, who went to Japan to try to find one. He was a hardcore collector. And he went to these shops that had all the used stuff, and they were like, I think I know a guy who has that one. And they bounced him around. A couple of the guys said, no, I don't have that one, but I think I know another guy who has it. So he got bounced around to a couple different ones. And he eventually found a guy who had the last one, and it was in the box. $40,000. And dude paid it.
Huh. Must be nice to have
$40,000
to throw around like that.
Yeah, well, he was a tech nerd. And the dude that had it worked for the company. And he had basically a copy, at least one copy in the box of everything that they had made while working for that company. And evidently one of his rooms just looked like a fucking warehouse with classic fucking robots, and they were all worth lots of money. All of them. And he was like the secret granddaddy of fucking robot collection. Yeah. But they were talking hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s of fucking plastic robots from the 70s.
Yeah.
In the box.
Like I said, if it makes them happy.
Yeah. Well, he worked there.
Yeah. CB says, the most expensive wrestling figure I have is a Raven from WCW because he wasn't with the company for very long. Yeah, they had a bunch of those figures. I remember seeing those like in the store. I don't have any of those. Yeah. And then he also said Hulk Hogan toys have rocketed in value since because he died not too long ago. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah. Somebody dies, it's gonna be like a thing. Everybody remembers them then. Yeah,
but $30,000 isn't that a lot of money really, because even the more common ones in the box are about $1,200. So the dude knew what he was getting into.
Yeah. Like I said, if you got the money, I mean...
Yeah, there was only a few hundred of them, and most of them did survive.
$40,000, though. You could buy a fucking car with that.
Yeah, but he has that robot.
True.
And there's a whole bunch of collectors.
Yeah.
So chances are he could get it. He could get that. That's only the price of a good Harley. You look at it that way. Harley Davidson is worth $40,000.
I was kind of, you know what? I was kind of thinking along those same lines when I was thinking about, the amount of debt that I have. Yeah. And then I was thinking to myself, because I was doing some car ads today, and I was thinking, I don't even have as much debt as a used SUV.
Yeah, you don't have as much debt as the average.
I guess it's not that bad.
You don't have as much debt as the average Gen Z college graduate.
Yeah, because I was lucky because I actually got... Well, my grandfather paid for my first 2 semesters, and then I got a Pell Grant because my parents were broke. Yeah. So I actually got a grant. And so I got a degree with that. So I do not have any student loan debt, which is nice because my sister got a master's degree. Okay, so she has some student loan debt, but she makes considerably more money than I do, though. And she manages a whole department and shit. So it's kind of like it's a give take. You know what I mean? And she can afford to go on several vacations a year, which I cannot. Because she comes down like to go to Disney a couple times a year, 2 or 3 times a year, for like a week. But we were talking about that when she came down because we went to Animal Kingdom with her the other day. And she was like, a lot of my coworkers are like, man, how can you afford to go to Disney like 2 or 3 times a year? And she's like, well, it's just me. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't have a bunch of kids, and she has a boyfriend she lives with, but he's with a band and he's always on tour and stuff like that. So a lot of times, he'll come with her sometimes, but she usually just is like, fucking, I'm going down to Disney for like 5 days or something like that. And she'll just come on her own. So she's like, when it's just one person, it's a lot cheaper. And like I said, she has annual passes and all kind of stuff. So she saves a lot of money that way. And she doesn't do anything super, super expensive. She usually stays in like the kind of lower, the less expensive resorts and things like that. So it's just, but like I said, she does make quite a bit more money than I do. But she has a lot more debt than I have too. Because like I said, she does the same thing as me. She's a graphic designer also, which is crazy. She's 7 years younger. And for a long time, she did, she worked for like medical clinics. She did like medical billing. Like she usually worked for GI clinics and stuff like that. She made okay money doing that. But she's like, man, I don't really like this job or whatever. And she's like, I think I'm going to do what you do. And so she went to school for that. And ended up doing that. But like I said, she went and she got her master's degree in it. I just have like just a regular ass degree in it.
This is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's one of my great Mazingers right there.
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of stuff like that. A whole big shelf full, and he's got a bunch of those big ones too.
This one I think is 1976. So, and it was an American licensed copy of a Popey Jumbo Machinder, which is I had some of the Japanese ones too when I was a kid. They would have been. I fucking threw them away.
Nobody
not
knows.
Knowing. One of the ones that I threw away now would have been it was a Combatler V. They didn't make that many of them, and probably worth about $3,000 without the box. There was only a few of them in the United States, but you don't know at the time. It was 81, and I threw it away.
Yeah. Well, nobody knows.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at that time, it's just like a toy. Like, I feel bad because I had a bunch of really cool shit, like vinyl and all this other kind of stuff. And, like, I didn't throw it out, obviously, but, like, I sold it or gave it away, like, when I needed money, or I was like, I don't really like this band that much anymore. And then I was like, oh, man, I wish I still had that. I still have, like, a bunch of vinyl, but I had a bunch more vinyl that I gave away or sold. I sold a big lot of them on eBay, like, when I didn't have rent one month, and you know what I mean? It was just, and I kind of wish I had a lot of them back, but what are you gonna do? Tanya, I'm guessing she's asking me. Mm-hmm. It's like, does she like your style or no? Like, I'm guessing, yeah. The weird thing about me and my sister, we're 7 years apart. I was born in 72. She was born in 79. And we are almost exactly the same. Like, our personalities are almost exactly the same. We finish each other's sentences. It's pretty crazy. But like I said, I've known some people that had siblings. Tom doesn't have any siblings, so he's an only child. But I have 3 younger siblings, and I've heard that it's very unusual for siblings, especially ones as far apart in age as we are, like as I am with my siblings, to be as similar as we are. But I have a brother that's 4 years younger, a sister that's 7 years younger, and a brother that is 14 years younger. And we are all almost exactly alike. It's pretty fucking creepy. So like I said, you know that there was no shenanigans going on. No one was adopted or anything like that. We not only like look alike, but we also, like, our personalities are almost exactly alike. It's pretty crazy. So we were all, like, pretty close, like, growing up.
They're asking about that Great Mazinger. It's either a 76 or a 77. It's a first edition. First American edition. And in the condition that it is in now with the Brand Condor, and it doesn't have any of the missiles.
Gotta be.
There's little missiles that it can shoot, and I don't have any. But it has the 2 swords. In the condition it's in, probably 550, 600, around there. If I'd had the box and all the missiles, the box that it came in from Mattel, probably more like, you could probably get $1,200 for it easily, 12 to 14. Those are the big ones. They also have a bunch of die-cast metal ones. They're expensive when you buy them, a couple $100. They go up. No, all the 1970s ones though, made by Popey. If you got them in a box, they're worth a lot. And I don't have any from the 1970s. I used to, but doggone, only when I was a kid. When you were a kid, man, you buy the shit. It's die-cast metal. It came in beautiful boxes. And you're just not thinking right. You're an American kid. You get it. You just tear the fucking box off and just throw it all away. Throw the styrofoam away. And now you got the toys all... all that styrofoam and all that packaging and shit was beautiful. And if you have it now... Oh, man. Probably $1,500 to $2,000 for some of that stuff. Yeah, old toys in general worth money. Yeah. Well, in the United States, the Japanese toys that were imported in here from back in the 70s are worth more than an American toy if it's in good condition, because they were all hand painted. They were metal.
Man. Booze and coffee together.
Yeah.
Because I think I've gone to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, Klaus's old toys in general are worth money. Yeah. It's, well, like I said, because a lot of kids played with them and just, you know, they got all beat up or they got thrown out or whatever.
In the Japanese game, they don't even have to be old, though.
Yeah.
Because they're a couple hundred when they come out, and 2 years later, they've already tripled. Because they don't make enough of them to supply the demand of the collectors that are out there. They do that on purpose. And a lot of times they are pre-sold. Guys have bought them before they've released. So they just wait.
Yeah.
They pay and they wait, and then it's shipped right to their house. And then everybody's like, oh, I missed it. And then they're taking that thing and they're putting it up on eBay and scalping it, doubling their money. Because maybe they bought 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Because they only make like a limited amount. Like some of the ones that you bought.
Yeah.
Which were actually really nice.
Yeah.
Like they would be, they'd only release a couple.
And then color variations too.
Yeah. And they were like really nicely made.
Yeah.
Like they were expensive, but.
Yeah. And I knew the guys that were making them.
Yeah.
So I was friends with them. So some of the stuff I knew was going down. It's like, look, if you get this one, man, I'll give you a metallic one also, you know. Because we were doing favors and shit. So because they would come out with different color options. You know, and they were all hand painted. It's not machine painted. They're hand painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they can charge like premium prices.
And it's die-cast metal.
And there's only a limited amount. Like once they're out, you can't get them anymore.
So I have stuff in there that's probably gone up quite a bit. I don't even think about it. Just, you know. But I could probably buy a motorcycle with what I have out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely could. You have a huge collection. Because I remember like you were really into that for a while.
Yeah, I got sidetracked, man. COVID happened.
Yeah, and you knew that guy that like that French guy that was making them.
It was a French guy living in Japan who he owned a company called HL Pro. It was more like a studio. And then they would subcontract the work out to manufacturers, and then they would assemble it and all have it sent to either the United States or Japan. But he lived in Japan. He married to a Japanese wife. But he was a French guy who was fucking big into a lot of it. He was really big into Grendizer because they had that in fucking France. They could just call it Golderock was the name. that it was called in France. But he was just a big collector of that. I'll show you one of the things that he made.
Tanya says, that sounds kind of cool, to be honest. I always wanted siblings, but preferably older. Never did get to know them. Yeah, I'm the oldest of my siblings. But like I said, I knew a lot of other people that had siblings, and it's like they always had kind of rivalries and conflicts and stuff like that. We didn't really have that, even though, you know, I was an only child for 4 years, and then my brother was born, but I thought he was like the coolest little kid ever. My mom thought it was hilarious because she's like, when your brother was born, she's like, you just used to fucking carry that baby around everywhere. There's like pictures of me like holding the baby like in the fucking yellow bean bags. It was the 70s, y'all. Yellow beanbag chair.
This is one of the ones that he made. I got like 3 of these. This is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
It's easy to show on camera because it's not fiddly. This one isn't metal. This one's vinyl.
See, a nice box also.
Yeah.
It's like a whole...
This is Grandizer.
Yeah. It's like a whole nice package.
See. So you want to make sure everything's like new.
CB says, if I had a time machine, I would go back to 1987 and buy a shit ton of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. Yeah, probably a sound financial decision.
But this is pretty much fully articulated.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And all hand painted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super cool. Like I said, even the box design is nice.
Yeah, and the box.
And Tony says, don't open it, or... Oh, no, he's taking it out.
No. But you can get, I think I got this for 110.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's worth now. Maybe.
Yeah, because that was many
long
years
time ago.
That was many years
I don't know what the demand is. Because this one isn't die-cast metal, they don't quite go up as quickly. It takes longer. I don't know if they're still making this one. They might still be making this one. But when they stop making it, I could easily get 300 for it, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
With the box.
Yeah, like I said, they're really nicely
Mostly
made.
about the box.
And he just has them. We have like a big shelf like out in the living room thing, and he has like it's pretty much just this whole big, huge, tall.
Yeah.
It's almost to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's like of all robots and stuff.
Yeah. These you don't really get for collector value. You get them just because they're art.
Yeah.
And it was all hand painted. With like
Yeah.
fucking.
It's really
really
nice.
high
Like it's hard to
quality.
see on the screen, but like yeah, it's really nice in person. All of the stuff you bought from him,
Yeah.
was really nice. I mean, they really, really went above and beyond.
Yeah. Especially with the metal ones.
Like to make everything
Yeah,
like as perfect as it could be. Like I said, the packaging is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, the robot, the paint job, everything is like perfect.
Yeah. And what's great about that particular company is none of this was mass produced. It was all.
Yeah, they always like made limited numbers of,
And
then that was it.
Kind of by hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what they wanted to do. That's
Well,
what
that's
they
the way
wanted
you
to.
did it in the 70s.
Yeah.
So. They weren't mass production toys like you get from Kenner or, you know, like an American toy company where they're making millions and millions. No, they're making like a couple thousand.
Yeah.
And they're usually all sold by the time.
Yeah, because they announce.
They're all pre-sold, yeah.
Yeah. Like they announce the pre-sale and
Yeah.
they're usually all sold out by the time they actually
Yeah.
come out. But that's what you got to do. It's like it depends on what kind of market. If you can't really afford to like saturate the market with like millions of different things, then it's better to just go kind of niche and do some like bespoke shit. Hey, we're only doing 2,000 of these, you know, but you know that there's like 2,000 people out there that would pay like $100 for it or whatever. And there were because, you know, because they sold out. Yeah, it's weird because Tom kind of gets. Somehow he ends up, because he was friends with that guy that made the robots, and then more recently he made friends with the guy that makes the sex dolls, or like designs the sex dolls, and like designs eyes for them and stuff like that. So it's like kind of funny how he's always kind of hooking up with, or like making friends with these people that like make the stuff. you know. But it's kind of good. It's good to get in with like people that make shit. You know what I mean? Because I said, you know, that guy that makes all the sex dolls too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm friends with that guy. Now this is one of the metal ones. These are worth a lot more, and I'm not going to take it out of the package because they're in here and there's a bunch of little stuff.
Yeah, they have like a bunch of little pieces.
Yeah, it's this guy here, and he's one of the bad guys. This company here not only makes the good guys, they make the bad guys too, which they normally didn't do that. But that's a photo of it, right there. And in the episode that he's in, he can go inside those saucers and these shields and become a flying saucer. And everything's in here to convert him from a bipedal creature with those saucers on his arms, and then you can convert him into a flying saucer.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Yeah. This is, and it's metal.
Yeah.
All right, and it's all hand painted. It's beautiful. That's a photo of the figure. See if I can. What the hell? Okay, I see where it is. That's a photo of it. But I think when this came out, I think it was 130.
Yeah.
It's probably twice that now at least.
Because that was a few years ago you bought that.
A long time now, yeah. Yeah, they don't make them anymore. The metal ones are always very limited production.
Klaus says the thing that's worth a lot of money in Europe right now is old Lego in mint boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably in the U.S. too. Lego is always big. And especially like back now, fuck man. Now I'm kind of wishing that I had, back in the 80s, I had the Lego set that was the space shuttle. And you could build the space shuttle and it had like little glow in the dark Legos in it. I don't remember where they went. We built other stuff with it too, but we did build the space shuttle at some point. And now I kind of wish I had that. But like over the years, you know, we got other Lego sets. We mixed them all together and shit like that. But that one like space shuttle set, that's probably worth a lot of money nowadays. I wish I still had that.
Okay, this one's 1976, and it's all metal from Japan. But this one's not worth very much because I don't have the box, and there's been some reproduction work to kind of restore it. But it's a Basilar. It's a little robot tank that looks like a fucking Triceratops. And it kept ammunition in the back. See, and he's got pew, pew, little treads. This is from the Guy King series. Yeah. But that's what they used to look like in the 70s.
Yeah. I remember when you bought that one.
Yeah.
Klaus says, I also have an RC-controlled truck from 1970, mint. Ooh, that's probably worth quite a bit. Depending, I guess, on like what kind of it is. But that's the thing, like, Lego sets nowadays are expensive. Just to buy them new are expensive. So, I can't imagine. I don't keep up with it or anything like that, but it's like, I can't imagine how much. That's why I'm kind of wishing that I still had that Space Shuttle Columbia set that I had from back in the early 80s. You know, I was like, man, that was probably like worth a lot. But we didn't care back then. Like I said, we had all kind of Legos. So it's like we built that set, and then we had like some other set that was just like some random ass Legos, and we just mixed them all together and stuff. We're like, ooh, glow in the dark, and we put them with that other stuff, and you know. Like I said, we did build the space shuttle, but then we built a bunch of other stuff with it, like you do with Legos. So. Camp Guy says, I remember those hot wax dinosaur making machines. You put in about $1 worth of quarters and it would mold up a dinosaur for you. Oh, shit. They had those they still have those at some theme parks, I think. It's pretty old school. I remember when I was a kid, I remember getting ones at, I think it was Busch Gardens, which is in Tampa. And they had a machine like that, and it had, I think there was 3 different animals. I know for sure there was a gorilla because I got a gorilla. But I think there was 2 other animals, but I don't remember what they were. Maybe it was an alligator, and I don't remember what the other one was. But yeah, I remember those. Like you put, was it really only $0.25? I kind of felt like it was $1, but maybe not. Do you remember those, Tom?
What's that?
Like when you go to a theme park or something like that, and they had these machines that you put money in it, and it would make you like a molded
the hot wax
figure,
things.
like a hot wax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like because
It wasn't wax. It was plastic.
It's plastic.
Yeah, it was a plastic. It was a plastic injection molding machine.
Yeah.
That you could put some money into it, and as a kid, you can watch it happen inside a glass box. It would mold something like a gorilla.
I got a gorilla at Busch Gardens when I was
gorilla.
a kid.
I think that's most.
I got a gorilla at
yeah,
Busch
I think that was the
Gardens.
basic one, and it would come in a crazy color like red
Mine was just regular gorilla colored.
with brown,
But you could get it in other colors, I think.
Yeah.
But like I just got the original one.
which was what?
Black.
Black. Okay.
It was black.
All right. I think the colors were random.
They probably were.
Each
But I
one was
got a
just-
black one.
It was a black one.
But I think there was 2 other animals you could get. I think there was an alligator and maybe a lion.
Yeah,
If
I
I
remember
remember-
it.
But yeah, they have
Usually
those.
at carnivals and shit like that.
Yeah, like I said, the one I got something from was at Busch Gardens in Tampa.
Yeah.
But like
And
I said,
you
I
could
don't
smell
know.
it being cooked.
Yeah,
Remember that smell?
I remember that.
And it would drop through. When it came out, it was still hot.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa. You're like, wow, this is some.
That's some high-tech
serious
shit.
No,
Yeah.
it was just fucking plastic.
No.
Plastic
But it's
injectable.
neat because you didn't really see
You couldn't see how
that
things
in
were
real
made.
life.
Yeah, you saw how it was made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whoever made those machines like knew that kids would be like fascinated by that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you don't get to see toys being made ever.
Yeah. It was just a heavy block. It wasn't articulated or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
And then it would
solid
like
chunk.
come out at the bottom like
It wasn't
was like
expensive.
a fucking snack machine.
Yeah,
or
it
something.
wasn't expensive either. It was like $1.
Yeah, I remember it being $1. I think
Yeah.
it was $1.
Yeah.
Like 4 quarters. But maybe it was only 50 cents.
I think it was like $1.
But I think it was $1.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember because we went to Busch Gardens when I was little. I've been to Busch Gardens since then. But when my parents took me, I was probably 6. So it was like a long time ago. It was like probably the 70s.
Yeah, Camp Guy says they made alligators.
Yeah, I remember the alligator. I
Yeah.
think there was an alligator, and I think maybe the other one was a lion. I remember
Yeah.
there was 3 animals because it had like pictures on the front. It's like, hey, get this animal or this animal or
Yeah,
this
yeah,
animal.
Camp Guy wasn't wax. It was plastic.
Yeah, it's like molded plastic.
Yeah, because it was permanent. Once you had it, you had it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have it forever. Just that you, as a kid, you got bored with it and you threw it away. That's usually what happens.
Because it didn't do anything. It
Didn't do anything.
It just sat there.
Yeah. You smelled it and go, wow, that smell. Which was probably toxic.
Probably.
Just,
Knowing all the shit that happened in the 70s.
yeah.
It's like,
Probably,
yeah, it's
probably
like,
poisonous
whatever.
and shit, but it didn't matter.
They'll get brain damage. It's just a little bit of brain
We
damage.
did so much crazy shit in the fucking 70s.
No wonder we're all messed up now that we're old. That shit's cumulative, man. It catches up with you.
Dudes ran around fucking in paint booths, spray painting cars without fucking respirators on. They all died of cancer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They didn't know any better.
Yeah, you know any better. Just paint, it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah. Painting the inside of their
Paint
lungs.
used to have lead in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And kids used to eat paint chips off the
Yeah.
fucking walls and shit.
Oh, man, I used to fucking paint the little Dungeons and Dragons figurines and buy little fucking figurines for like Warhammer and shit like that, and space games and paint them. They were
I
fucking
remember
red.
those.
They were lead, solid lead toys. Well, they weren't toys. They were like little figures you played Dungeons and Dragons with. You paint them up. Back in the very early '80s, and I don't know how I was doing that, man. I could get the little orcs and the little kobolds and shit, and paint the eyes and the fucking dots inside the eyes with just like a single hair of a fucking tiny little brushes.
Remember when you could actually like
When
see
you could
stuff?
actually see when you were a little kid. You were like, yeah, I didn't even need a
I remember
magnifying
those
glass.
days.
You just paint the little fucking swords and shit, and the fucking
see
thing's
shit
that
anymore.
tall, and you're painting a face on it. I don't know how I did it. I couldn't do that today.
Well, no.
And I could do it in low light. You know,
Well, yeah.
that's how good your eyes are.
You don't really
When you're a
realize
kid.
until
No.
you start getting older. And it
Yeah,
starts
and
not-
my dad wasn't even old when I was doing that. He goes, "Damn, your eyes good."
Yeah, I used to
I
have.
can't
good,
see that.
Well, I used to have good eyes too
Yeah.
until about what was it? Because you used to ask me to read tiny type and stuff.
No good now. Yeah.
But that was
You're as bad as
recently.
me, yeah.
That was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But it went downhill like quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very quickly.
So we used to play with lead all the time, lead toys, which I don't really think that was dangerous to play with it. You just didn't want to chew on it.
I mean, as long as you didn't chew on it
Yeah.
for an extended period of
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
you were probably all right.
Yeah.
Klaus says, so me and Jen was born the same year. I was born in 1972. September 1972. Count Orlok just arrived. Sorry, late for the show. We just finished season 3 of Dark Winds. Have y'all ever seen that show? I have not. I haven't even heard of it, actually. Count Orlok said, I never got a chance to tell y'all about my Halloween staycation. Trip to York, Maine, and found a bottle of Bloody Mary syrup for my aunt. They spent a nice rainy afternoon in Salem, Witch City. Oh, I've always wanted to go to Salem, actually. That'd be like a really fun... I'm sure it's probably packed on Halloween, though, right? Because everybody wants to go to Salem on Halloween, I would think. But I've always kind of wanted to go there. I've never been to Massachusetts. I've been to Maryland. I've been to New York. I've been to Pennsylvania. I've been to Washington, D.C. I've been to Virginia. I've never been to Massachusetts, though.
I lived in Massachusetts for, 6 years.
Yeah, you lived in Boston for a while.
Yeah. Massachusetts is especially Boston, it's an asshole factory. That's where assholes live, and that's where they make them. It's an asshole production facility.
Baby, there's assholes everywhere.
There's just fucking assholes.
I've met many assholes in Florida.
The attitude... Although I had fun there, you know what I mean? I did have friends, you know what I mean? It's just that... but they were the same way. Man, these motherfuckers are assholes. It's real cold-blooded, competitive, snotty, very class-oriented, very... up their own ass, and then because I spoke with even a slight Southern accent, then I'm immediately an idiot. We're just fucking fucking assholes. But I made a lot of money when I was there, and I was very popular.
They do, yeah.
Very very popular there. The good goth clubs. They're gone though now.
There's assholes everywhere.
Yeah, no, yeah. But ask Shauna. One time, Shauna's from there. And then
she's from Brockton.
She's from Brockton, and fucking and then Shannon, who I raised Shannon online ever since she was a little girl. Well, not really a little girl, but
What did she call it? Baby bat.
Called herself a
training camp or something. Yeah. That you had.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't remember what she called it. It was something funny.
I was like in my late 30s and fucking was talking about. This is on old YouTube back when not YouTube. Yeah, old YouTube, back when if you put a comment on a YouTube channel, you could actually get the response notification.
Well, and you could message people.
You could actually message.
You used to be able to message people on YouTube. You can't do that anymore.
I would be messaging on old fucking goth music videos. I met all kinds of people. That's how I met Jen and Dimitri, the DJs that I work with. As I was talking to Jen.
Who we're going to see tonight.
I was talking to Jen about a fucking... a video, I met her on a London After Midnight video. I think that's where I met her. And then she was telling me, oh yeah, my husband's trying to be a DJ here. And fucking, I ended up meeting both of them. Jen was with me, and then all of a sudden we took over fucking the town. It took a long time, but it happened. No, that shit.
Hey, baby, we started, well, I mean, Dimitri does all the work, honestly. But, because he's the DJ.
Yeah.
But we talked about doing a goth night a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like at Barbarella/iBar.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how many years ago. 15 years ago, at least. And it was like, man, we should do our own shit. Like, let's set this up. And we started talking to people and stuff like that. We started one. It's still going.
Yeah.
It's still going. Every month.
But I was...
Memento Mori. And he's got another one, which is Abyss, which is tonight.
So I guess it was about 2009, 2008, around that time. I was talking on one of the music videos. It was... I'll have to ask Shannon exactly what she mentioned. She told you how she met me. I think she remembered what video it was. And we were talking about one of the bands, and then fucking she said, well, how do you know so much about it? Well, and I told her all these little fucking clubs, the Detroit scene in Boston. She goes, oh, I live right outside Boston, And I said, oh, really? And I started talking about Man Ray. She had never heard of it. She was 16.
Yeah.
15 or 16 at the time.
Can't go to clubs when you're 16.
She wasn't old enough.
Nope. Gotta be at least 18. And some clubs won't let you in until you're 20.
Yeah. Over the years, she got old enough to go to the club. She's still messaging me. Yeah, I went to that bitch. I know, and I would know all the people that she's talking about, the bartenders and everything.
Yeah.
So she considers me like I raised her.
Yeah.
And I never met her.
Like her goth dad.
Yeah, I'm her daddy. I never met her.
Yeah.
And she'd disappear for fucking years, and then she'd get a message back to her. I didn't keep tabs with her. She's not my child. And she comes back like I'm daddy. Oh, and who she's going out with.
It is kind of funny that,
I raise kids.
We're kind of like goth parents to some people. Because you have like younger people. The cool thing about the goth scene is that you get like younger people coming into it, and for the most part, they're actually very respectful because a lot of them actually do know a lot about the history. They're super into it and stuff like that. And if you have been in it for a long time and were there when shit happened, they just think that's the coolest shit ever, and they just want to ask you all kind of questions about it because they didn't get to live through it, right? They're just living through it vicariously through music and through shit they read and everything. So it's like, so somebody that was actually there and actually went to clubs back in the day and stuff, it's like they are really into that. Like, there's a small percentage that are kind of snotty, but not really. I haven't really experienced that.
But
they're usually pretty cool.
My two friends that are here, one of them there, Shannon and Shauna, they will both tell you, they were born and raised over there, that Massachusetts is an asshole factory. Okay. And a lot of the problem is that most of the serious assholes in that state moved there. They moved there to go to the Ivy League schools, or they moved there to go do, Tufts, Harvard. So it's like an asshole magnet. And their effect on other people is to cause other people to become assholes.
Well, because if you're going to be an asshole, then other people are going to be an asshole in response to you.
Right.
Because no one's going to be nice to you for being a douche.
But I hit it off with people that were from Massachusetts. Like they were born and raised there. They've been there generations. Yeah. Because they're kind of a little bit more like New Yorkers, which I like New Yorkers because they have a tough edge to them, and they're not scared of you, and fucking you can actually talk to them, and they're not judgy. People
have a weird conception that New Yorkers are dicks, and they're really not. Like people that are from New York, sometimes they're kind of standoffish because they grew up in a big huge city and stuff, and you kind of have to be. But honestly, New Yorkers are like some of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah, and if you ask a real New Yorker about a Bostonian, they go, "Oh, those assholes." That's what Right. But they're talking about the people that have moved there and have fucked up Massachusetts. Because
although I kind of feel like everywhere is like that. It's like, well, the people here are nice, but just the people moving here are dicks.
Yeah,
it's like that can't be true.
Yeah.
Across the board.
But the Massachusetts working class and middle class, no, they're straight. They're good. I just didn't like that intellectual class that moves there, and the corporate class. I
always liked New Yorkers because they're like no bullshit people.
Yeah.
New
Yorkers New Yorkers have a very kind of Southern vibe to them, not in their value system and their mentality. They're like no bullshit. If they tell you they're going to do something and and you already have a friendship with them, he's going to do it. They'll hold up their end of a bargain.
And they don't. If they don't like you, they'll tell you to your face exactly why they don't like you. Like they'll explain it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So they have a very honor culture.
They don't pretend to be nice to you to your face and then like say shit about you behind your back, which is something that a lot of Southerners will do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, some Southerners will fucking
they have
coded ways.
They'll be real nice to you to your face and then say all kind of shit behind you.
Yeah, there's coded ways, especially Southern women. They have a lot of coded behavior. Aren't you precious?
Yeah,
shit like that.
But that really means
that is not what that means.
Twat.
Right? Yeah,
that's what that means.
Right? Yeah,
because there's a lot of Southern culture is very much. You have to at least give the illusion of being nice and polite and stuff. Yeah. So a lot of times that manifests as you being nice to somebody that you hate, but being like super passive aggressive about it, which I never really liked. Like I said, it's
a woman thing though. The dudes
that's mostly a woman thing.
Yeah,
and I don't like that.
In Boston, the bitch ass dudes do that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So,
like I said, New Yorkers tend to be very straight. In the sense that British people are kind of like that too, at least the ones that I met when I lived over there. If they don't like you or they think you're fucked up or something, they will tell you just right to your face. They're not going to like pretend to be nice or nothing like that, which I like that. That's very refreshing.
Yes.
Because like I said, a lot of Southern female culture is very passive aggressive. And
in the South though, you have to be careful. It's an honor culture. And if it's between men and you insult a dude and he takes it seriously, he's going to fight. It depends on where you are. You go to any of these working class or country biker type bars, there's cameras all over those bars because of all the shootings. You're basically in fucking Mos Eisley Starport, all right? People kill people here. They're very high homicide rate, but it's almost never random. It's always kind of like personal. It's because they're mad at fighting over a woman, or you said something and that's it, and then it got into a fist fight and the dude didn't want to lose, so he kills you, with a fucking bar stool or something. Or he goes out of his car and comes back with a fucking pistol and fucking lights you up. That happens a lot. So you got to be careful what you say to dudes. That's why dudes tend to be pretty much straight-laced. They don't do the passive aggression shit because passive aggression doesn't work here. They'll get fucking violent. All right? Don't do that shit in a fucking black club. That'll go to guns quick. Big shooting rate with those guys. But rednecks, you got to be careful.
Rednecks will do that shit too.
You got to be careful around rednecks.
Yeah.
That's what
I grew up around them, so
yeah, rednecks will kill you deader than shit.
Yep. Pretty much.
And sometimes get away with it.
For stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
For stupid shit. Like you might just say something wrong, like you didn't even mean it that way.
Yeah, but he took it a certain way.
But they took it a certain way, and it's not. You can't de-escalate it.
Yeah, yeah. You're dealing with Scotch-Irish people, and they're fucking hot-blooded, and there's a long history of fucking
they will
resistance and oppression, or they feel oppressed, and they don't have guilt and shit. And if you disrespect them, then they're armed and shit. You're taking your life into your own hands. Now, they're depending on who you are. Okay. If he knows you, there's going to be leeway. If he doesn't know you, he might not fucking. And if you're an outsider, it's not as bad as it used to be. But I remember when I was a kid, if you were from up north and you were in Mississippi, you were taking your life in your hands.
Yeah, I remember.
They did not. They hated Yankees worth anything.
Yeah, anybody from up north.
Oh yeah.
They didn't even care who you were.
You had to be very cool with them and very careful what you said and very, nice and respectful. If they felt that you betrayed them, then there was all that, during all that Mississippi burning fucking times, you know what I mean? So, well, the Klan killed these guys. And no, it was regular Southerners doing that. The Klan didn't do much of it. They mostly took credit for shit because they were trying to be something that they kind of weren't. It was just regular Southerners doing a lot of that. And a lot of times it was the cops.
I wrote about a bunch of cases in my book where white Southern cops killed black men for no reason. Yeah. Actually, in one case that I remember, and I think there was more than one, a black man was a cop, and they killed him
for being a cop. Yeah. It was,
and they got away with it too.
It was tribal warfare.
They got away with it.
Yeah, tribal warfare.
This is in the 60s.
Yeah, and if you came, and they also did things like kill activists. Like social activists.
That happened a lot.
Yeah, you'd have college students from some northern university or with some lawyers trying to come down here, and they would go into black churches and try to find legal work, I guess, by filing lawsuits. We're going to liberate the black people. They'd end up dead on the side of the road in their car. We don't know what happened. Well, they got pulled over by the cops, and the cops killed them.
They know what happened.
They know exactly what happened. Yeah.
They know what happened. Just nobody would prosecute.
The South was...
It was very, very, very common.
Yeah, the South
alarmingly common.
The South considered itself to be kind of a territory that was involuntarily forced into the Union with the United States. They wanted independence, there's a good Ireland analogy. It's a similar people, similar heritage. They didn't want to be part of the United States. And they felt themselves being occupied by Federalist forces. Their allegiance was not to the United States. Their allegiance was to the state. And in the case where my family came over, the state of Mississippi. Mississippi was a country into itself. And they didn't want to be part of the Union. Now, that generation all died off.
Yeah, that's old people.
Yeah, but they didn't...
You don't really see a lot of that.
That's not as much anymore.
Not as much anymore. You still do see it, but not like when I was growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because my grandpa used to talk like that.
Yeah.
And my dad, too, a little bit.
Yeah. But, our ethnic group, we're called the Scotch-Irish. We're a mixture of the Scots and the Irish and some German. And we've been here for hundreds of years. We actually originally came from Appalachia and spread into the South, going back hundreds of years. And they have that same pig-headed resistance, independence, don't like to be told what to do, They don't respect things like authority. Everything is family based, local, county. They'll be more loyal to their states and counties than anything else, and they didn't like us. They're very xenophobic. They're still kind of like that. It's just not as bad as it was.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
Like when I was growing up, it was a lot worse.
Yeah.
Like it's still not great now, but it's a lot worse when I was growing up, like in the 70s and 80s.
My dad's generation wasn't quite as bad. My grandparents' generation, whoa.
Yeah.
No. It's like you're dealing with North Koreans.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
My grandmother wasn't that bad.
My grandmother.
But my grandfather was. Big time.
On my father's side of the family, my grandmother and my grandfather, I never met my grandfather, were extremely hostile to any Northerners.
Yeah, my grandfather was.
They hated Northerners more than black people. They actually kind of could get along with black people. It was Northerners they hated.
I kind of feel, I'm trying to think, like my grandfather is probably like equal.
Equal, 50-50?
Yeah. Because he was racist as shit.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they were.
Big time.
But but my grandmother hated Northerners much worse than black people.
My grandmother, I'm talking about on my dad's side, because my mom's side was more, they were Baltimore, D.C., like, so they were slightly more northern, I guess.
Yeah.
But my dad's side of the family were very southern. They were Tennessee. Yeah. And my grandmother was pretty chill, though. I mean, she would say shit like, oh, back in my day, we didn't talk about that kind of stuff. But you know what I mean? She wasn't, like, overtly hostile, but my grandfather totally was.
And looking back on the shit that my grandmother used to say, she didn't hate black people. She just didn't trust them. She thought they were bad. They're just bad. Can't have them around. That kind of thing.
Well, you know what's funny?
But
it's
she hated Northerners.
And I was thinking about this the other day. And I always thought this was so funny. And I figured this out when I was a kid. Because we would be at my grandparents' house, and we'd be having dinner, and my grandfather insisted on having the news on while we were watching, while we were having dinner.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I was a kid that it's like, if there was news and there was a crime that was committed, and it was a black man committed it, them N-words, blah, blah, blah. However, in the, 80-90% of the time when it was a white dude that did the crime, he wouldn't make a peep.
Yeah. Well.
And I absolutely noticed that.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, so you only pointed out like the one or two times when it was someone who doesn't look like
because they saw that as a racial attack.
Yeah.
They see that as a racial attack.
I'm like, so all the crimes that like white dudes committed, that doesn't count?
Doesn't count because it's between white people.
That doesn't count.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. It was totally tribal thinking.
I know.
If it was between white people.
Like I said, I figured that out when I was a little kid.
If it was between white people, it was just like, yeah, fucking asshole. But if it was a black person doing it, then that was an attack.
Then therefore all black people are bad.
Yeah, they're coming to kill
And like
us.
I said, I noticed that when I was a little kid, because I was like, well... Yeah. But when a white dude does something, you don't be like, oh, all white people are terrible.
No, it's just not that.
Nobody does that.
No, it's just normal. Yeah, that asshole. But no,
because he looks like you. It's because it's an other.
It's because the Southerners and including black Southerners of that era, they had very strong racial identity. So whenever they talked to each other, it was like they were conducting international diplomacy. Mm-hmm. All right, if one black person did something to another white person, then oh my God, that nation over there has attacked us. This is war.
Yeah, it was like one dude attacking another dude, but somehow it was like a whole. He represented a whole population, but a white dude doing it didn't.
Yeah, no, that's just crime
for some reason.
Yeah, that's just regular crime.
I know what the reason is. But
that would be considered just crime.
Yeah.
But if it was a person of another race, then that's almost like international
then
warfare.
It must have been like a racial motive, which most of the time it was not.
In the South, I don't know. Probably was.
Well, I mean, if it was just somebody robbing somebody or something like that,
it was a tit for tat thing. Well, a lot of times you rob people because they have money.
Well, yeah.
And if you're
poor,
just
target people that have money.
If you're poor, you can't really target somebody that comes from where you come from because they don't have anything. So what that ends up looking like in Mississippi is a racial attack.
Yeah. But like I said, it's not really a racial attack. It's just they know that they're...
I remember the thinking, though.
That they're just like broke ass.
What they're going to say is they are robbing us.
I know.
That's what they're going to say. Us.
I grew up in the South, too. I know.
Yeah, so it was.
I know exactly how they
So
think.
it was just a tribal mentality.
I know.
It was kind of like they're foreigners.
Yeah.
You're being attacked by foreigners.
Which is stupid, but okay.
That was the thinking.
Well, I know.
It was a tribal.
Like I said, I know. I grew up in that environment. But like I said, I figured out it was stupid when I was a kid. Because I noticed the hypocrisy when I was a child. And it just never made sense.
My advice is just to watch your back. It could be anybody. It could come from anywhere.
Well, like I said, I trust no one.
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what race you are. I don't care nothing. It's like anybody.
Yeah, anybody can get you.
I watch enough true crime to know that shit could come from anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
You can't, like, stereotype people like that because you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. So, you know what I mean? In a way, I think that's like watching true crime, even though it's fucked up and depressing.
That's some good shit there.
Where?
She said, my
papa was from Buxton, Mississippi, and was racist too. I think he was born in the 40s.
40s
Yeah, my grandfather was born in 1919. Yeah. He's dead now, obviously. He died back in the 90s. And my grandmother was born in 1929. They were 10 years apart.
Here's the thing, though. You know, it's such a modern take by calling him racist. They didn't really have a concept of racist back then. They just would have considered that to be normal.
Well, because everyone was like that.
Yeah, everybody was like that. So it was extremely normal to think that way. You know, that's racist. You know, I racist. What's that? They didn't have that. It was the South, especially the deep South, Mississippi, was just one long war, basically one long tribal war. You know, they fought each other. Southerners fought each other. They fought fucking the United States. Blacks and whites fought each other. They mostly got along, though. That was another thing. Is, you know, there was a lot of people there, and if they were in open warfare, there'd have been a lot more killing. It was just crime, you know. But you could just interpret it as crime and reprisals for crime. And I think sometimes that the crime was a reprisal for a reprisal. Somebody robs from your town or your house. You guys have black people that did it, so they take it out on other black people. And those black people get pissed off. Says, next time I'm gonna steal some of white people that are killing us. So it was just a tit for tat, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Race was a factor, but I think some of the stuff was reprisals for what whites did. And I think it was both sides. Now the whites definitely had the upper hand when it came to the fucking money. Because there were very few jobs in the South, and it was and what jobs there were mostly white guys had them. You know, just because there was just no economy. Like people talk about the Great Depression, in the olden days, like my grandparents' era. That what you would call the Great Depression was just normal for Mississippi. Those conditions were like normal. It had been that way for like 100 years, and it was like that. Up until the World War II, easily. Up until the 50s, probably. When I was there in the 70s as a little kid, I still remember houses that just were like something out of the third world. Shacks. Shotgun shacks. Tin roofs. Like you see that movie, The Sinners? Houses like that. Yeah. Not only poor people lived in them, but you had white people living in them. White, poor people. Just... It was very behind. It didn't really. Mississippi didn't start looking like a normal part of the United States until the 80s. And the advent of cable television just changed everything. Because they had no outside information.
So it's almost 10 o'clock. You know
time to go.
You know,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I was waiting.
Is that why you're sitting there get all antsy?
Yeah, because I was like, let's wrap this up. We gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, because I gotta go to the bathroom and put shoes on and tighten my corset and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, we don't have to be there at any particular time.
I feel like I'm now rushing.
Well, you know, I was just gonna say, I gotta put
I didn't realize it was that
Instagram.
late.
Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock.
Well, I've been drinking.
All right, so we are going to wrap it up for this evening because we're gonna go out now for a few hours and see how that goes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I had a good time, like talking about old toys and stuff. Brought back some memories. So there's that. So have a good rest of your evening, you guys. Have a good weekend. We'll be back on Monday for a movie review. Don't know what movie we're gonna do. I'm probably gonna pick one from the list because I know you guys have like recommended a bunch, and I do want to see a bunch of those. I want to go back and like see some old ones, maybe that Boris Karloff one like that you guys recommended, because I saw that was on Amazon. So we might do that one, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, have a good rest of your evening. I think I already said that. Have a good weekend, and we will see you guys again on Monday night.